A very good morning to you. Here's the news update on Today95.1 FM. I am Kelly Ikemenjima. The Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria has revealed that it requires a sum of 580 billion naira for the rehabilitation of airport runways across the country. The managing director of FAN, Olubunmi Kuku, lamented the state of the runway in the country while receiving the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Ibrahim Kana. Kuku stated that airport runways which were built in the late 70s have outlived their lifespan. She added that aside from the runways, other airport infrastructures such as terminals also need major rehabilitation, which has been affecting operational efficiency and safety. The Nigerian Correctional Service and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) have taken steps to deepen their collaboration aimed at preventing external attacks on custodial centers and forestalling jailbreaks in the country. To this end, the Commandant General of the Corps, Ahmed Audi, has directed state commanders to deploy additional personnel to custodial centers in their respective states across the country to enable them witness the presence of more NSCDC personnel. Audi, who recalled the killing of NSCDC personnel at Kuje Custodial Center in Abuja a few years ago during midnight attacks by terrorists, noted that the dynamics of maintaining peace and security around custodial centers have changed, given that Nigeria now faces an asymmetric war. He described the death of NSCDC officer as painful, stating that the officer was always fearless, bold, and committed to his call of duty. The NSCDC boss spoke when he granted an audience to the Acting Comptroller General of the Nigerian Correctional Service, Sylvester Ndidi, at the headquarters of the Corps in Abuja. Audi remarked that collaboration, understanding, and commitment are the keys to keeping the nation's custodial centers safe, asserting that no single paramilitary institution can operate alone without synergy with others. This report says unspecified number of Nigerian military personnel have been missing in a recent ambush by Boko Haram terrorists in Baga at the fringes of the Lake Chad. Personnel of the armed forces who spoke in anonymity said soldiers were ambushed while trying to recover dead bodies of 40 residents killed by the insurgents, and several soldiers were shot dead in the gun battle that ensued. He said a combined team of armed forces, including civilians, were killed, and that they are yet to ascertain the number of victims of the attack that occurred on Tuesday because the dead bodies are yet to be collected. Another civilian source in Baga said about 50 civilians went to recover dead bodies of those killed, but only one person has returned so far. On the foreign scene, Israel and Hamas have agreed on a deal for a ceasefire and the release of hostages being held in Gaza following separate meetings with Qatar's Prime Minister. A U.S. official who confirmed the deal said pressure to put an end to the fighting had ratcheted up in recent days as mediators, Qatar, Egypt, and the United States intensify efforts to cement an agreement. On Wednesday, a source close to the talks said Qatari Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed Abdurrahman Jassim was meeting Hamas negotiators in his office for a final push to seal the deal. The announcement came after months of failed bids to end the deadliest war in Gaza's history and days ahead of the inauguration of U.S. President-elect Donald Trump, who immediately hailed the deal before it was officially announced by the White House. That is the news update on Today 95.1 FM. Good morning. Thank you for your time.
Radio has never been this good. Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
All right. Thank you one more time for staying with us. We have to go to the market. Let's pay some bills. Sabaplus Homes, Head of Marketing, Sabaplus Homes and Investment Limited, Sebastian James, joins us this morning. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good morning.
So tell us about your estate.
Yes, the Ultimate City Estate, or Magua. That's the estate I want to tell you about.
Okay.
Now, this is an estate that is strategically located about 6 to 7 minutes drives from the Omagua International Airport. And now this estate is for airlights. When I say airlight, people that love comfort, that love security, that love good things of life.
Okay.
Why do I say that? Because it's an estate that by the time you come in to invest in, you can start developing on the estate. There are buildings all around the estate. So it's not a place that you have to buy and start waiting for a period of 1 year or 2 years before you start building.
Okay.
It's a place you can start developing as soon as possible. And guess what? This estate is actually going for a promo price of 2.5 million a plot.
Okay.
All right. And why we do this is because we want to ensure that quite a number of people jump on this offer and secure a plot in that estate, because the price is not going to stay long for that 2.5. The price is likely going to jump from 2.5 to 3.5 million once a 20 plot is sold out. All right, so if you're listening to me right now, all you need to do is to make sure you take advantage of this ongoing promo. All right.
Okay.
And this particular estate has an amazing landmark such as the Cactus filling stations, the Sterling Oil and Gas Company, as well as the Cactus Aluminium Company. We also have St. Emmanuel's Catholic Church as one of the landmarks that lead to this estate. So it's an open estate that is verifiable for individuals that want to just probably start building on. And even if you don't want to start building on immediately, and probably you just want to source a secured environment, probably you want to start building in the next 1 year, we have something very specific for you, meaning that you can actually start with an initial deposit, all right, of 500,000 or 1 million, and then you can spread your payment across probably from 3 months to 6 months, all right, as the case may be, and it's come with 0 interest, all right, on it.
So if you do 3 months, you pay like how much?
No, from 0 to 3 months to 6 months, you don't pay a dime on it.
Okay.
That is 0 interest. You're still paying the real value of the estate, which is the 2.5 million.
Okay.
All right. That's why I said you can start with initial deposit of 500,000 just to make sure you roll on.
So the least.
Yes.
The least you can deposit.
From 500, yes.
From 500,000.
Yes, a million up. Yes, exactly. That allows you to actually hold the estate down, the plot. All right, the plot down, so that you don't miss out from the promo. Okay. All right, because if you don't jump on it now, and probably the price jump from 2.5 to 3.5 million, it means that you have to pay more to have it. So that's the ongoing promo that is happening right now.
Okay, so when they make payments on the installment plans, do you give them anything?
Yes, of course. You have to get a receipt that prove that you have deposited certain amounts of money, and then there's also a form you need to fill that will help us to follow through on your consistent payment, all right, on the property.
Okay, so how about your buyback plan?
Yes, Smart Plus Homes and Investment Buyback Plan is a program that is designed for investors. This is for those that have money lying down and they are not making use of that money. And remember that any money that you keep without investing, inflation will jump on that money. For instance, let's say the value of what you can buy for ₦1 million today, you can use that same 1 million to buy by next year, this same time next year. And so for you to protect that money against inflation, we are asking you to come and partner with the company. Now, when you come in, let's say you have ₦1 million with us, probably you have from 1 million down to 100 million. You can bring the money and partner with the company, and then you earn 30% annual interest on that money.
Okay.
So let's say you are bringing 1 million to us. How much is 30% interest on that 1 million? That's about 300,000 return on your money.
That's yearly.
Yearly. All right. Now, that is to say, if it's 2 million, that's going to be double of that amount, and down to 10 million and so on. So you can actually come in and partner with us. And this investment is backed up with documents such as the deed of buybacks, all right, that stand as a collateral, all right, for the investment you have with us, as well as acknowledgement letter and a post-dated check that carries the specific amount, the capital you actually bring in to partner with the company, all right, so that you don't need to start calling us. When the time comes, you can easily walk into the bank and then cash your money. All right, so that's what our buyback plan is all about. And if you're listening to me right now and you want to take advantage of these opportunities, all you need to do is to pick up your phone right now and then send us your name, text your name and your WhatsApp number. Why we need your WhatsApp number? So that we can actually forward you the video and of course the location of this property, so that you can actually see it.
Okay.
All right, you see development that is going on in that environment. So text your name and your WhatsApp number to this number. The number is 081 80637 The number is 081 80637 You can actually visit us at number 41 NTA Road, Uzoba, by Uzoba Town Hall. That's where our office is. All right, just text your WhatsApp number and your name to 081 80637
All right. So, Real Estate Academy. What's
yes,
that about?
Yes, that is an academy we designed for individuals that have interest to come into real estate industry.
Okay.
Let's say, for instance, you can actually start a real estate without any capital. That is to say, you can come in and become a real estate consultant. These are people who have been trained to give advice, all right, to counsel people on how they can actually come in to invest in property. And if you can be trained to start doing this, it means that you can partner with companies and start earning commissions.
Okay.
For instance, when you enroll in our academy, we teach you a lot about real estate and how you can start strategically using technology to market and sell real estate to people, such as Facebook ads, Instagram ads, WhatsApp automation, marketing, and all that. And so let's say you partner today with Surplus Homes. Guess what happened? Every estate you sell through our company, you get paid 10% commissions, down to 17%, because we have we pay commissions down to the third leg. All right, when you come into the company. So when you join our academy, you're going to learn more about real estate absolutely free, and then you get to partner with us and start earning commissions. Okay. All right, so all you need to do, if you want to be part of the academy, just text academy and your name, and then attach your WhatsApp number to 081 80637 The number is 081 80637 508. And if you are an investor that you want to invest with us, you want to partner with us from 1 million down to whatever amount you want to partner with us, just text your name and indicate your interest to invest with us, and then also include your WhatsApp number so we can send you the full information about how you can also come in and then partner with Surplus Homes. The numbers again are 081 80637 508 081 80637 508.
All right. Do you have final words and encouraging those that may be doubting the fidelity of what you're offering?
Yeah. Here is my final words. These estates, they are absolutely available for individuals that want to jump on this offer. So we are open for inspection. All right, meaning that you can actually come to our office, or you can actually send us a message on WhatsApp. Let us book an inspection. All right, would you take you to the site? You see the property by yourself, because seeing is believing. And if you're not here in Port Harcourt and you want to invest, we can actually send you a video. We can send you the GPS coordinates, all right, of the property, of the location, so that you can actually check them out. All right, and then you can actually start making your deposit towards securing this particular estate, because you will never go. You can never get it at this price any time from now, because once the price jump from 2.5, it's going to 3.5 million, and you're going to miss the offer. So make sure. Yes, just text your name, your WhatsApp number to 081 80637 508. The number again is 081 80637 508.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sebastian James from Saba Plus, is the head of marketing.
My pleasure.
At Saba Plus Homes and Investment Limited. Thank you one more time.
Thank you, my pleasure.
All right, we'll return to our conversation in a moment. It's Today 95.1. Good morning.
Unleash the power of the airwaves with the ultimate radio experience. Tune in to Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Don't just listen, immerse yourself.
That is 100% true.
95.1 FM, voice of the people.
And we're back.
All right, thank you everyone for staying with us. So let me ask the second question I want to ask. Let me go to Mr. Momo. I had to bring in this reference. But you recall when Governor Fubara was, I think, inaugurating the school in Ahoda, and he talked one of the contracts that he cancelled. He said, "I'm cancelling this contract because the young man has refused to tell this person the truth." A lot of persons criticize it. For me, I said, I'll say it again. I said, I can't be giving food to someone to get energy to come and kill me. That's what I said. So, for me, I didn't see the governor's action as anything untoward, right? I didn't see it that way. But isn't it similar to what Sanusi has just done?
No. The governor has an obligation to do these things. Sanusi does not have. There are two. No, I'm coming. There are two different things.
Okay.
The governor has that man that he's saying. The governor is acting on his behalf in the state.
Okay.
So you can hold the governor responsible to say, you don't do this.
No, but the guy was not failing in the contract execution.
No, I'm coming. I'm only just saying that they are not the same thing.
The reason for the cancellation of that contract was for political reasons. The guy was on the other side, and for some reason he had refused to move to the side that they wanted him to move to.
I know, but
you see, he was delivering on the job.
No, you see, for Sanusi, my point is that Sanusi is the head of the Tijaniya Muslims in Nigeria.
So he's the head of an institution.
He's also the emir. Sometimes, what they say, people are waiting to hear. In these governors from the north are saying, oh, this thing will kill us, this will do that. People are waiting to hear him say something.
Yes.
And I think that the platform where he said those things, he said, instead of personalizing it and say, I, the position is holding, even though it's not something that you pay him for.
Okay.
Is good enough to have said, even though I have this and that with this government, I would go ahead to say, these are my positions on this issue of subsidy removal, of this tax.
All of these points are established. I'm just saying, he said they have refused to behave like my friends. So I too will not give them that friendly action disposition, right? Isn't it similar to what the governor did?
No.
It's not.
No.
Mr. Dokubo.
Kelly, I don't think it's similar. They may be similar, but not exactly the same.
It doesn't have to be the same.
See, for the governor, it's like empowering an individual. When he does this job, what happens? He's paid, isn't it? And then he gets, like you said, it's like feeding some kind of monster that will eventually consume you. You don't feed that kind of thing. But then, for Sanusi's own, I do not see how what Sanusi, the idea Sanusi will drop, is going to benefit the federal government.
Let's assume is the reforms, the tax reform bills, which has caused a lot of controversy, especially in the north. If Sanusi had gone on drumming support in explaining to his people to say, see the benefits of this thing. This thing we are getting it wrong. We say it is going to do this to us. No, we are not saying this part. We are not saying this part. And people begin to change their views about the bills, right? It makes it easier for the Tinubu government to have those bills passed at the National Assembly. It becomes a plus for the Tinubu government, right? But that same government has allowed, whether directly or indirectly, their instruments to be used to put Sanusi in a difficult situation.
Yes.
So, isn't it similar? The governor said, I have the powers. I allowed you on this contract, hoping that you were going to, I'm adding this one, I'm imputing, hoping that you were going to have some sense, talk to the other person, to correct himself. But since you have refused to do anything about it, it is not that you're not competent to deliver. We haven't judged you to be incompetent. But for the fact that on this you haven't delivered, right, we are revoking it.
Incidentally, there are so many, in fact, more competent people to deliver on that job than yourself. He probably may not have been given that job on the basis of his competence.
Oh, okay. So it's not similar then?
So it's actually not.
Mr. Ndukwe, I'm looking at an instance. The Tanusi is not nationalistic in what he has said, and so on and so forth. We talk about personal interest. But I can't help but take my mind back to when Governor Fubara cancelled the contract because of politics. Simply put. What's the difference? Simply put. It's not in our politics now. It's politics. He said...
It's not competence, politics.
It's politics. He cancelled it because of politics. He said it now. So it's not competence. So what makes Sanusi such a villain if this kind of thing is practiced like every other time?
You know, what I have said, that anybody that has climbed the ladder to the point of reaching the zenith, as it were, like Sanusi, who was a former CBN governor, is expected not to be a politician, but all of them in Nigeria are politicians. And so, it's politics here, it's politics there. If Governor Fubara said it openly because of politics, it will be different. But whether he said it or not, he may have cancelled that contract because of politics. So one thing I'm saying is there's no difference.
No difference?
Yes, no difference for me.
I don't remember the specifics of the matter regarding the state where the governor said he was cancelling a contract. But like has been mentioned here, a governor, contracts are awarded not just based on competence in our environment. In fact, competence comes last in terms of the weighting indices. Because we see road contracts awarded 3 years ago, built and commissioned with a lot of fanfare. It collapses in 2 years and what do we call it? Consequence management is not applied. So if competence was the key thing, then consequence management will apply every time there is a failure of job done based on incompetence.
Okay.
So we know that contracts in Nigeria, in the Nigerian public sector environment, not market-based operations apply. So contracts are not given essentially because of the most competent.
Okay.
It's given because of other considerations, which you and I may not know. We are left to guess.
Okay.
If the governor was brave enough to come to the open, many other governors before him would not even have bothered to talk to you. They actually take your contract and give to another person, and what can you do about it?
Okay.
He had the Christian mind to come forward and said, I confess, I'm cancelling this for certain reasons other than competence. I think that was bold.
Okay, we're not talking about the...
It was bold.
No, we're not
Is it similar to what has happened with Sanusi and the federal government? No.
It's not.
It's not at all.
Okay.
The reason is Sanusi competent to give the opinion he has given? Yes.
Okay.
He's competent. He's an economist. He has run the CBN, so he understands the implication of reforms and the character of the kind of reform that Tinubu's government, President Tinubu's government, has embarked upon since May 29th, 2023. Should he be held liable for saying that those the government has been using to market the reforms it has put on the road are not credible? Yes, the federal government has a duty to respond to that, because it demarkets the entire reform package.
Okay.
for good or for bad.
All right, Ajubabari.
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, if you I think from gleaning from what others have said, other panelists have said, I think we are somehow the view that you don't situate this thing on a square position and say they are the same.
I'm
Even
asking
in
a
real
question.
practice, yes,
I'm the
in
one
real
that asked the
practice,
question. There's a question I'm asking.
No two cases are the same.
Okay.
You may have similarity.
They may have similarity.
Yes, but not the same.
Okay.
Without wasting time, my position is very clear. I have made it very clear that I will have more respect for Sanusi, looking at his pedigree, intellectually, and exposure, which comes through his experience. He would have done better and earned my own respect if he gave that which he is holding on to. If he gave it, tell the government, like Peter Obi would do. He will say his mind, I like his approach, and say, this thing would have been better done this way. Give you solution. Like I will always be saying here too, I tell the government, you don't need rocket science. Let's do the right thing. So to me, I blame him there. And going forward, he should be able to say the way it is to the government by way of giving solution.
All right. Mr. Andiko, you want to
But I thought that was a solution, he said.
No, he didn't.
You are not
Give
using credible people to market your reforms.
He said, I won't help them because they have not treated me as a friend.
Look, those are qualifiers.
That's what he said. They have not treated me as a friend.
He said you needed credible people to market your reforms.
Okay, that is your interpretation. And
no. It was there in the statement you read.
Okay, so the one we are saying are qualifiers, and the one you are saying is the one we should hold on to.
It's the substance.
Everything he said is important.
You are not using credible people to market your reforms.
Sanusi said, I can help them, but I don't want to help them.
Yes.
In fact, that's why it's trending. It's not trending because he said Tinubu does not have credible people to market his reforms. He said, I can help you, but I don't want to help you because you are my friends, but you have not behaved like friends to me.
Yes.
You have not behaved like friends to me. That's what he said. Then he got to the part that you mentioned. So he started from somewhere.
Let's hear the part I mentioned.
Give me a moment. I don't want to help this government. They are my friends. If they don't behave like friends, I don't behave like a friend. They don't even have people with credibility who can come and explain what they are doing.
Precisely. And you are still saying what he has not offered any suggestions. First big criticism he has is that you need people with credibility to market your reforms.
I agree.
And that he as your friend, would have done that for you because he believed they had credibility. But he's not going to do it.
Because they have not been friendly to him.
Because
they haven't been friendly with him.
That's right.
No, but at that point, he should have given his own opinion. The issue of the tax reform thing is a raging thing in the North, where they believe that this tax reform will reduce their finances. He should have just given an opinion.
I believe strongly that that's even where he's speaking from.
Yes,
he's talking about the reforms. He's talking about the controversial tax reform bills and how he could have been instrumental in making it easier.
Pin it down to tax reform.
I said, I think.
Yeah, you are thinking, which you have the legitimate right to do.
I said, I think.
No, you cannot think on another person's statement. You are imputing.
But we also cannot assume. That he's speaking on all the reforms of the Tinubu administration so far.
Why not?
Why can we assume that?
Because he said
hold an opinion on something else.
He said so.
No, he has not categorically stated that all the reforms.
He said reforms. He didn't pin it down to any specific one.
Let me take a view of Mr. Ndekwe.
Kelly, for me, I think no matter the kind of qualities Sanusi as an individual may have, it does not reside in him alone. That kind of quality or qualities. There are those who are intelligent.
You made this point. You established this.
No, you see, why I'm saying this is because I'm going back to this issue. Sanusi, for me, shouldn't have said that government of Tinubu does not have credible individuals.
Okay.
He shouldn't, because he is not an island. If he's intelligent, there are also those who are intelligent. It depends on how every individual sees. That is why if he had made his opinion known by way of saying, despite all the odds who were at both of us, that I am saying this, we would have been able to know whether that his own suggestion will be the credible thing or not. As it stands, if there are no credible people in Tinubu's government, he also falls into that same category. Nobody knows it all. None.
Okay, let's move on. Let's go to... We had this conversation yesterday about
a little question, sir.
Okay.
So we clarify things. Look, the way people in the north would behave to information, we agree, is different from the way business people in the south would behave, isn't it?
It is.
So if you're going to send people to the north to go and talk to them, who are those marketing the reform now and saying that it is bad? It's the governors. And these are the same governors who have been claiming the huge allocations, and they don't want the people of the north, ordinary people of the north, know that they have been bearing the consequences of misgovernance by these governors, and they are the ones marketing the idea of the tax reform. They cannot be credible before their people. And what Sanusi is saying, you need dedicated and credible people to the northerners who will listen to them instead of their governors, because repeatedly we see it in the media that the ordinary people of the north keep saying they are poor and impoverished because of the misgovernance of their resources by their governors.
Okay, so at the end of the day, we're all saying the same thing. That's where we started from. Who is suffering this? Where is the missed opportunity?
Precisely.
These are the conversations we've had all along on this issue. I need to move on now. We had this conversation yesterday about the first coup in 1966 and the effects of it. Sheikh Usani, I think we're all aware of that, the coup that happened in 1966, the mass murder and everything that followed it. And
you too?
Oh, yes, I am aware.
Okay.
Thank you.
You would have read it now.
No. He's poking me. I get it. I understand. He's my student, so no issue whatsoever. But he says Nigeria is still haunted by the murder of Ahmadu Bello and others. I'm asking, is this correct? Very similar conversation. Mr. Ndiko, yesterday you said it's possible that you still have traces of this in the memories of people.
Yes.
And it's making them act the way they are doing in Nigeria.
Yes.
So this would be affirmative to what Sheikh Usani has said.
Of course. See, I think Sheikh Usani, the way I look at Sanusi is the way I look at him. Every comment Sheikh Usani makes, I look at it comprehensively, and oftentimes I find substance in them.
Okay.
Now, this particular issue is, you remember yesterday I said, no matter what, now the first coup that fell on to eliminating some officials of government or highly officials of Nigeria, whether government or individual. But of course, I think the government, because Sadwana was also that of the first premier of northern Nigeria. So it's government and all that. There is no way that their deaths, if you remember what I said yesterday, will not be infuriating. Every minute of the day that passes will not infuriate his family members. And those family members have link with those in government and important people in the north. And that is why things are still happening the way they are doing. When all these important people, they go to meeting and all that with government officials and all that, they will also bring out the idea that, you see, these people that originated this kind of thing that happened at that time, and then took our Papa Ahmadu Bello, took us, was it Prime Minister? Tafawa Balewa. That, and they now want to be reintegrated. We'll show them something. They will make a plan, and that is why it keeps on. I keep on telling people from the southeast that yes, you may be officially forgiven, which is a verbal forgiveness. But It may not have been the plan of those from the southeast and mass to say, go and do this. However, those that act was done to will never talk about the people from the southeast again joining or not joining in taking a decision. They will now look at it as ethnic based. And so they will always be having that antagonism or acrimony in their heart against the people. So it's a matter that will linger. And like I said, there's no time, so long as this world remains, that it will not be an issue in this country.
Mr. Momo.
Yes, I think a lot of mistrust had happened after that coup, from what I have read. This fuss about the fact that Saldana, because of Saldana, the problem of Nigeria, I do not agree. A lot of persons died who are not even from the north, even in the south and all. But I think the ethnicity, the ethnic thing has crippled into our life as a people. Instead of looking at national things, you first think of your ethnic group and all of that. For example, recently, why did IBB retired, go and check the people IBB retired when he was leaving government? From what ethnic groups were those soldiers? Why were they retired? Why did they leave Abacha? A lot of questions. And unfortunately, there are no history of how things have happened like this as a country, and we're able to sit down and resolve those issues to the smaller things. To now say if certain things is happening in history, we can refer to it
and learn from that.
How we have dealt with that issue. Recently, I heard of something about take the Niger Delta militant issue. How did we resolve it? We only gave money to people who are aggrieved, and then we moved on. History has taught us that it will happen again. So that how do we now refer back in future to say it happened this time, and we have evidences, history, things that we have solved these issues, and we can go back to those things and open and say this is how we are going to solve them. It is not there, and unfortunately, it is not, for me, it is not the problem of Nigeria, but I think the ethnic thing, the ethnic card, where, for example, he comes to give his quota to the national interest. I do not look at his qualification. I'm looking at where does it come from? Oh, it's an Igbo man. Please, get me somebody else. These things, we might not say them openly, but it's there in our lives.
But you don't think that coup and the way it went may have fueled this perception?
But not the fact that because of Saldana died and all. No. But I think that coup actually created that void that as a country we have not been able to feel and come together and resolve certain issues there.
So indeed the country may still be haunted by the coup.
Yes, by the coup, but don't limit it to the Saldana issue, no.
No, he just mentioned it. He said Saldana and others. Ahmadu Bello and
yes,
others.
that coup. Unfortunately, the memory that coup left for us, we have not been able to recover from it.
Ajubabari.
Yes. Well, I was looking for what will come from the friendly crossfire that took place across the
There can be crossfire with my senior.
friendly crossfire.
There cannot be friendly crossfire with my senior. It's not possible.
Okay.
It is not possible.
No ground for comparison. Okay.
At all. But I know how to poke him.
I'm not doing any issue with you.
I know how to poke him, he knows.
Yeah.
But there's no crossfire
Maintain
at all.
your altitude. Well, to me, I think Nigeria is, in my own calculation, is a political contraption. I told you the years I spent at the University of Calabar, which defined my reasoning to a very large extent. I was doing a kind of personal study, and I came to what I prefer to call the political calculus of Nigeria. And I can tell you, Kelly, without looking back, the civil war is raging on. Till now that I'm speaking to you. And the only man that has captured the reality of that civil war in the dimension it is going is my man on my left. That is Dr. Alex Oti of Abia State. I call him the father of creative revolution. And he's doing it. You can't hear him mention Federal Road in Naba. He's doing everything in conformity with that war that is raging, which is what has led to the position of even wiping history out of our curriculum, and then going to the extent that I can tell you for free, as an offshoot of this political calculus of Nigeria, anybody from the former eastern region, you can be basking in your ethnic euphoria, cross the Niger bridge, above it, your body will tell you that you are seen and treated as an Igbo man. So when I hear people recently in Rivers State shouting, talking about Ohanese or whatever, who is the president or whatnot, I look at them as victims of local circulation. When they will be hit by the hard realities that are on ground. And that's what is crippling and keeping us. It's like a shackle. And until meritocracy overrides incompetence and mediocrity, we are going nowhere. I can tell you that freely. Unfortunately, most Nigerians, the moment they cross the border, I don't know whether there's something satanic in our atmosphere. The moment they land here, it appears there's a spirit that are taking over them. They begin to wave the ethnic card, inclusive of religious card. I'm very sorry to say it. I'm a Christian. But I have come to realize and appreciate what Martin Luther King Jr., who is my spiritual mentor, wrote from Birmingham City Prison to the church leaders. Then, which is very much applicable here, I now realize that these religious leaders are also playing their own religious politics anchored on this same thing, on the religious or the political atmosphere. And it's quite sad. And that is what has kept us where we are. You are aware now that the government is creating equivalent of NDDC in their regions, in the west, in the east, and the rest of them.
No, not NDDC.
Equivalent. That's the Northeast Development Commission.
That's a development
the Southeast Development Commission.
No, we would have a South-South development. It's different.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Now, we're not probing the exactness of the statement.
Yeah. Now, if you look at it, you will realize that instead of following global economic principle, show us what you are competent in, develop it. Let's give you space. Oh, Zamfara, you have gold? Produce it. Pay us tax. West, you have gold. Produce it. Give us tax. Niger Delta, what do you have? Art and culture? Produce it. Exhibit it. Sell it. Make money out of it. That's your area of core competence. You are not ready to face that. Till now that I speak to you, I told you last time, by virtue of my position as a notary public of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, I can say without contradiction that it is only in the oil and gas producing areas that their youths, outside being encouraged, they are being killed by exhibiting that skill that God gave them for their environment. Until we are ready to face it. It's not that these are leaders don't know this thing, though.
Okay.
They know this truth.
Okay.
And the only thing I realized that can set one free is truth.
Okay.
You may have something against me, but you can say, Monkey, what you have said is true. I agree with you.
All right. I'm up with Senable.
I thought you were even going to ask him first because they would understand history more than
No, history is not frozen in time. History is an open page. Those who care can read it up, no matter their age. We were here, we saw the coup.
Okay.
We were also here and we saw the consequences, the reactions to the coup. We saw thousands die after the first coup. There was a second coup. We saw the Civil War, which claimed millions. We saw other coups that occurred from 1983 to 1994. You know, there were coups and coups, at least 3 successful ones and a few that were not successful. So what is important is to place the Ahmadu Bello coup, the coup that claimed the life of Ahmadu Bello and others, including Okotiebo, who comes from Warri in the Delta, but was an ally of the ruling party political alignment in the country at the time, which was the NPC, Northern People's Congress, which changed to Nigerian People's Congress, and the NCNC. Now, when Senator Sani spoke, I think I didn't see the full text, but I think he spoke in idioms.
Okay.
And we need to decode the idioms for us to gain understanding and entry into his mind. Given his position, he may not have wanted to take us through the details of where he was going. He left it for us like kola nut to chew as we desire. Now, what could those idioms be around the death of the Sardauna? Ethnicity and religious identities were embodied in the office of the Sardauna of Sokoto and Premier of Northern Nigeria. So, if Shehu Sani said the coup has not gone away amongst his people, we can still see today that ethnicity and religiosity are mobilizing indices for politicians because they don't have substance, because they don't want to follow the path Ado Babari was saying, the path of merit-driven society. But merit-driven society does not fall from heaven. It falls on a foundation of productivity. When a society is not productivity-driven, then it becomes hallucinated by intangibles such as ethnicity and religion.
Okay.
Right? If we are saying to each state in the country, as almost happened under the Gowon administration, each state in the country was able to begin to think in terms of what it could bring to market in order to run its administration, then those mobilizing indices that Ahmadu Bello represented, Tafawa Balewa represented, Okotiebo represented, will not apply. We will not be talking ethnicity, we will be talking what can you produce. I still remember in 1980 going to a trade fair where Kwara State, as close as it was, and it still is to the north, was not talking about Ahmadu Bello. They were talking about making the best furniture that could be shipped across West Africa from Nigeria.
Okay.
That was what they put on the table. And I remember River State talking about West African glass industries, talking about Michelin tires, talking about rhizome palm, the palm produce, as materials exhibited which needed to be processed from River State into the international market. When you talk about that, religion doesn't come in. When you talk about that, ethnicity doesn't come in. It is how do we produce these things, make them better, and put them into the international market? And what do we target as our revenue expectation from such transactions? So Sheikh Hussaini is simply saying to us, by not creating a productive economy, we are surrendering Nigeria to the same emotional sentiments, emotional drives that inform that the late Sardauna, Premier of Northern Nigeria, represented. Therefore, it will provoke anger in those who still cling to those emotional identities. It is not that he is saying the South has not paid enough. In fact, there are people who will still tell you that for what Babangida did, they can never forgive him. In terms of how many people died when Oka announced his own coup. There are those who will tell you that for what Buhari did, they will not forgive him. For what he did when Shehu Shagari was overthrown, how he punished southern politicians and left northern politicians fairly in comfort. All of those things are mobilizing indices that deny the essence of a productive economy.
So we're distracting ourselves.
Oh, completely. That's what Sheikh Hussaini is saying.
Okay.
In my view.
I'm up with anymore. I'm sorry.
I'm here.
Please allow me to. Don't bring that kind of title on my head. It's too small. It's too small for that one.
It was an error.
The way our politicians have behaved, especially at the national stage, is what for me is keeping this thing alive or giving oxygen to this feeling. I found situations where people get into office and all they get around them appear to be people within their ethnic group. These are the catchment areas. And then you're wondering, is this nation still for everybody? Or is it for anybody who gets there? It's just the turn of your people. I mean, recently Buhari was there and everybody was shouting. And now we have Tinubu, and it appears everything is still going on the same way. I think we need a conscious effort in this country to put this thing behind us. For now, it does appear anybody who gets there, just do your thing and move on. I just think that we need a national dialogue. I personally believe that, yes, we have not gotten that thing off our consciousness. I still believe till today that the greatest, the unforgivable sin of Goodluck Jonathan was making Kenneth Minima Chief of Army Staff. I strongly feel it. I may be wrong, but I just think that was the unforgivable sin. I've not felt, as far as Army is concerned, I just see it.
Kenneth Minima? No, the one that causes opera was this man from the southeast. Here, Jericho. He's the one that causes that he was killing them.
Then from then came to Kenneth Minima, and they just thought we can no longer take it, can stomach it. So if we don't face it now, what has happened?
So it means you also say that somehow Sani is correct.
Of course he is.
It's not true.
I just feel it that we have not gotten it out of our consciousness. That look, this thing is there, and because we are still, at that level, we still have people who come to the stage, do things that remind us that look, this thing is revolving around ethnic base, then we refuse to move away from it. And so the next person comes and every other person is looking at them, what are you going to do now? Are you going to move away from what this other person did, or are you going to show that you are the one that will now carry? And I think that is where we are.
Can I ask
what I ask him?
My VP, sir. When we say ethnicity and religious passion, is there any demonstrable evidence that when a particular administration is in power, people of a particular ethnic group have profited in terms of fighting poverty, in terms of improving the economy and their security in this country? It is rather the fact that a clique gets all of those things, gets all the benefits and advantages, and they use ethnicity as a cover for doing what benefits a select group amongst them.
So that's the distraction you talked about.
Yes. So if we do not understand that we, as the victims of the ethnicity campaign, if we do not understand that and rebuke it, then we are falling into that bracket of propaganda. The facts are there that Buhari was president, he didn't gather just Northerners and Fulanis. He gathered people who were within his own cabal, what we call in Nigeria cabal, and they included people from different parts of the country. They were not just Fulanis.
Is there a suspicion of a certain ethnic group in Nigeria today?
All our politicians use ethnicity as a place of cover for their misdeeds.
Okay, let me get back to Opaka so you can conclude.
Well, maybe it's a matter of perception, but that's what I strongly feel.
Okay.
And I'm asking myself, why is it just in Nigeria that we have this brokenness, or at some point in our history, and you find it happened in South Africa. Over time, what happened? They sat down and said, look, why not get ourselves reconciled to ourselves? And after speaking, they have a brand new constitution and they are moving ahead.
Is it working?
Whether or not, can we do the same and tell ourselves some home truths? Now, Rwanda is another case in point. Today, what's happening in Rwanda after all that they went through? I agree that until we get to a certain point where our economy is fixed and people are relatively comfortable, I'm sure if we're able to get to that point, and if any leader will come and look at the economy and see it as a priority and fix it, and people really get a little bit of it will ease some of these pressures or some of these things that we're talking about. But as long as we are left with the kind of pressures that we are left, and then a clique of people going and getting all, and at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, I know that within that clique that benefit from government in power, you find that the perception is that a certain ethnic group from the leadership, favored by the leadership, is what benefits largely.
Okay.
And so if we until we get to that point, it's going to be difficult.
Let's go for the news update. We'll return in a moment after the news update. Please stay with us.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM. Board Hardcore. News update.
A very good morning to you. Here's the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Kelly Ikemenjima. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, says it has remitted 10 trillion naira to the Federation account, making it the highest taxpayer in the country and remains the only company in Nigeria that publishes 100% of its account statements annually. The Group Chief Executive Officer, GCEO, Bele Kyari, who made the disclosure during a presentation on NNPCL's 2024 revenue performance and the 2025 projections to the National Assembly's Joint Committee on Finance, also called for a forensic audit of the funds spent by the NNPCL on fuel price stabilization and ensuring uninterrupted petrol supply between January and September 2024. Regarding the company's 2025 revenue projections, Kyari indicated that a definitive figure would be provided after the upcoming Board of Directors meeting in 2 weeks. He assured the committee that the parameters for the 2025 budget were both realistic and achievable. In a related development, the National Assembly raised the 2025 projected revenue for the Nigerian Ports Authority (NPA) to 1.75 trillion naira, underscoring the need for increased revenue generation across key government agencies. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) has filed a 5-count charge of unlawful diversion of public funds and money laundered against Jimmy Lawal, a former senior councillor and advisor to former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai. Lawal was charged alongside Umar Waziri, Yusuf Inuwa, and Solar Life Nigeria Limited for alleged financial misappropriation. The charge was filed by the Assistant Chief Legal Officer of ICPC at the Federal High Court in Kaduna. In the charge sheet, the ICPC alleged that Jimmy Lawal, sometime in 2018, indirectly took control of the sum of 10 million naira from Kaduna State Accountant General operational account and paid it into the bank account of Solar Life Nigeria Limited, an account for which he was the sole signatory. The commission said Lawal ought to have known that the funds were part of proceeds of corruption, and by doing so, he allegedly committed an offense punishable under the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022. In another count, ICPC alleged that Lawal in September 2018, while serving as a public officer in Kaduna State, a senior special advisor, councillor to Governor El-Rufai, took control of over 7 million naira from the Kaduna State Internal Revenue Service account. The presidency says the United Arab Emirates UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan will visit Nigeria in 2025. The presidential spokesman Bayo Danuga, who made this known in a statement, said President Bola Tinubu invited the UAE leader during their bilateral talks on the sidelines of the Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week 2025. Tinubu arrived in Abu Dhabi on Sunday as a guest of the UAE president to participate in the forum, which encourages collective action to address global challenges such as climate change, water, and energy crisis. Onanuga said the UAE leader thanked his Nigerian counterpart for accepting his invitation and expressed the UAE's determination to strengthen economic cooperation between Nigeria and his country. On the foreign scene, Israel's cabinet is expected to meet today to approve a ceasefire and hostage release deal with Hamas, a day after mediators announced an agreement they believe will lead to a permanent end to the Gaza war. The truce would take effect on Sunday and involves the exchange of Israeli hostages for Palestinian prisoners, after which the terms of a broader peace deal would be finalized. The Prime Minister of mediator Qatar has said the move would cap months of fruitless negotiations to end the deadliest war in Gaza's history, pausing hostilities days before the inauguration of U.S. President-elect Donald Trump, whose Middle East envoy was involved in the talks. Earlier, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke with both U.S. President Joe Biden and Trump, thanking them for their help in securing the agreement. Israeli President Isaac Herzog, who holds a largely ceremonial role, said the deal was the right move to bring back hostages seized during the October 7, 2023 Hamas attack that sparked the war. That is the news update on Today 95.1 FM. Good morning. Thank you for your time.
95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people. This is Today 90.
Day in history, on this day in history. On this day in history, on this day in history, on this day in history. Today in history, January 16. In 1920, prohibition began in the United States as the 18th Amendment went into effect, banning the manufacture, sale, and transportation of alcohol. In 1966, following the military coup in Nigeria, Major General Johnson Aguiyi-Ironsi assumed power as head of state, becoming the country's first military leader. In 1970, Muammar Gaddafi was proclaimed the Prime Minister of Libya after leading a successful coup against King Idris in 1969.
In 1976, Argentina ousted a British envoy in dispute over the Falkland Islands.
In 1979, the Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, fled the country amidst growing unrest, leading to the Iranian Revolution and the establishment of an Islamic Republic.
In 1984, the Winter and the Summer Olympics saw record numbers of nations gathered together to compete despite political tensions around the globe. In 1991, U.S. President George Bush announced the start of Operation Desert Storm, an allied combat operation to drive out Iraqi forces out of Kuwait. In 1997, comedian and TV star Bill Cosby's 27-year-old son, Ennis Cosby, was murdered after he stopped to fix a tire along California Interstate. In 2021, Trump becomes the first president to be impeached twice.
In 2005, Adriana Ilescu of Romania gave birth to a daughter at the age of 66, becoming one of the world's oldest mothers. In 2013, Algeria's In Amenas gas facility was attacked by Al-Qaeda-linked militants, resulting in a hostage crisis that left 39 foreign workers dead.
On this day in history, on this day in history, on this day in history.
Unleash the power of the airwaves with the ultimate radio experience. Tune in to Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Don't just listen, immerse yourself.
That is 100% true.
Okay, let's conclude this conversation. I'll take two more contributions. Mr. Emmanuel Ndukwe.
Yeah, I see, Kelly, in 1970, the Nigerian Civil War ended. But it took, let's say, up to 4 years from that time for the internal persecution of the Southeast to end. Take, for instance, after the war in 1970 and they continued till 1974, you see, Hausas were coming into our own zone. In my own village, and I was not told, I witnessed everything. Now, do you know this big rope, I don't know what they call it, that is used in tying cows?
Okay.
That's what they were using as they came into our villages and other villages within my clan. They will use it and tie those who went to Biafran war as soldiers. They hire just what they said Boko Haram is doing. They give small children small money. Do you know anybody that was a Biafran soldier? They'll point at anybody that was a soldier. At least it happened in my village, and they pointed all those. They used those big ropes, tie them, put pepper on the marks that the ropes are given to those people and retie them. First, put them under the sun. And the people will be reading in pens and all that. What was the reason? Because they went to defend their places in war. And again, you remember, there were other people that were not from the Southeast that joined the Biafran side. But this kind of thing did not happen at all to them. Some people that were understanding Hausa language became the emperors within our sphere, because they will use Hausa and speak with the people that were there. And as soon as they tell them, this man, he was very strong going for, the man is finished. They will come and tie the man with the rope and all that. Remember, go on. The official head of state said, no victor, no vanquish. But it did not apply in our area for a long time. I said between 1970 and 1974, before that thing gradually died, like Chief Obasanjo said Sharia would die a natural death. That one died. At that time, it doesn't mean that I'm not sure that the federal authorities did not hear about that. But they had a lot on their hand trying to contain the after effect of the war.
Okay.
So they couldn't have known all these bits and pieces coming down to our side and all that. But that's what happened. Just because the offense of the people that went to support Biafran soldiers, they went there to kill them. That was the sentiment. So I tell you, if you also check, even right now that such thing does no longer exist, you check about in the Southeast, have there been any, what do they call this thing? Is it reactivation or whatever of all the devastated areas that even is trying to give birth to these commissions? All these kind of things. There are a lot of areas that you see, what do they call this thing that sand will be falling? There's something.
Landslide.
Not landslide.
Landslide.
There's something. Erosion.
Okay.
Erosion.
All this gully, these things.
Good. In the East, because of the devastation of the war, a lot of such places exist. But government of no victor, no vanquished philosophy should have been able to focus and say, let's reactivate this area. Since we've agreed that there was a mistake and we've reintegrated. But nothing of such. Even it took time before this commission took place, that if they've given to the Southeast, it took place, it took a lot of arguments, yet some people still did not agree that it should be given. So for me, what Sani is saying, it might be in idiom and all that, but then the reality is staring us in the face.
All right. Mr. Momo.
Yes, just a quick one. The truth is that the 1966 coup is tagged as an ethnic coup. The fallout from that coup, take for example what Sani is saying, that the Saldana, you cannot trace the property to him. He's talking about selfless service.
Yeah.
That up till the time he died, they took some of these things to his, that there is nothing in Kaduna to do anywhere that you can point to say, this thing belongs to Saldana, these places belong to Saldana. He's talking about selfless service. But I think before you can even get selfless service, that trust must be there. That is why in democracy today, once an appointment is done, instead of us looking at the capability of that person, we first check where is the person coming from. It is real. Why are we trying to hide away history from our schools? These things are real. You think that it is not real when IBB was creating states, and some places were there as 5 states? We know that geographically these things can never be equal. You can't produce the same senators. You can't produce the same House of Rep. What it means is that even if you go to vote 10 times, that place remains a minority.
Of course.
You can't meet up. If you say, for example, maybe the Southeast, let's me even call names now. You say the Southeast would want something at the National House of Assembly today. All of the senators in the Southeast should vote. It's amount to minority. Because the states create the numbers. If the South go for a cause and say we will support this, and the Southeast will not support us, it's still a minority. And so I think that the fallout from that coup, we need to have a discussion, a clear discussion. If not, whether productivity, whether somebody capable or not, it is irrelevant to people. Because if an appointment is made, the people from a particular region will sit down. Where's the person? What's the person's name? They are checking to know if they are also part of the scheme of kings in Nigeria. And it is real. Let's not hide from it. Let's not deceive ourselves. It is real. And it's a fallout from that coup that happened.
Well, let me ask a question. Before this coup, was there ethnic sentiment or not in Nigeria? Let us not run away from our history.
Sorry, let me say this. There are ethnic divisions, even among in River State, is there. But we're talking about when we come to the national level. The German would probably go along with the Shekiri, go along. But when you get outside of that, he's probably not comfortable. Same way, when you get to the north, it's not everybody in the north that is Hausa, but we have the suppression of the majority where we now told us that we only have 3 major languages. And so our kids are subject that they must do these languages in their schools. If you come to my place, for example, I'm from Edo State. I'm from Estako in Edo State. I'm not a Benin man. But there's a majority of the Benin that suppresses all of us and chooses the path that everybody will go through. But that exists everywhere. You have had the Modakeke riot. They are from the same place, sharing the same boundaries. They fought and killed themselves. That is there. But we are saying that he said, Ejirika, what was Ejirika saying? What was he saying? Because he was appointed as the chief of army staff. What was he saying? To say that he's going to crush Boko Haram? What was he saying? And so you need to look at this thing systematically. It is there, embedded in it. Even the appointment of this man from Southern Kaduna, who is now the chief of defense staff.
Musa.
It didn't sit well with some persons because it comes from the minority group.
Okay.
Well, so
let me quickly take 2 more views. And
I was just saying that you made my day. The examples you gave before the war, before the coup, and after show that the killing of Sardauna and others in that unfortunate coup of 1966 did not create ethnic consciousness. Rather, ethnic consciousness was there before the coup happened. And ethnic consciousness in politics was used to mobilize support by the politicians in place of meritocracy. Right?
Okay.
After the war, some of us were privileged to serve in the North. I served in the North as a youth corps in what you called part of the minority states of the North. And you found that the sentiments I met in then Gongola State did not reflect any emotional hangover with Nigeria before 1970. In fact, you found that state creation, I'm glad you referred to it, became the tool for appropriating federal resources. And as soon as it became the tool for appropriating federal resources, it became important for some people to claim ownership. So the more states given to a particular area, the better the benefit to the elite of that area, the cabal that is constituted as a result of the struggle for political control, so that they can control the revenue that state creation provided. If states were created the same way regions were created before the 1966 coup, and on the same platform of economic viability, it would have been different. But because we changed the modus operandi and made states the instrument of sharing revenue, it became important for ethnicity and statism and religious identities to matter more than productivity. And you can change that simply by creating a merit-based system on productive economies.
Yeah, I think I agree entirely with Senio, because, like I said, you see, if you interact with most of our people who have traveled out of this country, who have lived abroad, you realize that there are so many things that crash the moment they cross this border. Religion is one of them. There are a lot of children you interact with today, it is in their psyche. They believe that having light is a miracle. There are people that have lived in Port Harcourt for over 6 months, they don't see light blink. For real. So there are a lot of things that are created here. And that is why they are pushing this agenda and playing down. That's why you can hear somebody say, now statistics will go chop. Do you understand it? That's why they can bring in the concept of Emilocom. And people are buying into it. Most of those things will not survive. In Europe, if you do not work hard to pay for your rent, they will throw you out, irrespective of who you are. But come here and see what is happening. Okay. I was telling you the other day, though it sounds like a joke. Before my Corolla was stolen, both life and death, I did not have money that can buy a brand new engine. But you have a situation wherein you see illiterate that cannot write their name. If you give them 11,000 to go and pay in the bank, they will write 11,000. There are people driving brand new cars.
Yeah.
So what's going on here?
Okay.
So people can, even this man who is at the helm of affairs now, the person on Tinubu, he knows he can change the trajectory. Just shift the, what do I call it? Just shift it to production.
Okay, so
shift it to production.
For
a lot of things, this ethnicity, right?
Okay.
We crash. This religious whatever sentiment, we crash.
Right. Dangote is not hiring only Northerners.
All right.
That's it.
So he's hiring those who are confident to run the plants.
Amapu Sanibo and Adubabari is a distraction.
Sure.
These arguments are just to distract us, right?
If we face the reality, a lot of people's thinking will change.
Others feel that this is something that should be addressed, as it's still haunting us as a people.
Yes, sit down,
address it. So let's move on. This final story for me, I'll just take reactions. Amidst poverty, Nigeria State House spent 6 billion naira on vehicles in 2024. Lawmakers are fuming. And the area I'm looking at is the lawmakers fuming. Would they act that they're not aware? Or this has come to them as a huge surprise? It's still the same 2024. Tinubu bought a new jet. 150 million. The lawmakers have they've not opened a panel to ask questions as to where did you get the money to buy the jet? When did you come to us to get approval to buy this jet? We've not had any conversation like that. The only person who has at least said something about it is Abaribe, only recently when he decided to start speaking again. But as far as the National Assembly is concerned, we haven't heard any debate on that. The SUVs they got, Nigerians queried it, 160 million, queried it. They went ahead, they said it was necessary for them to do their job as legislators. So, anyone surprised that the lawmakers are angry about this? Ajubapari.
What are they angry about? If I will raise that question, what are they angry about? They have betrayed us. It's only that we are so docile. I don't know whether the docility is flowing from religious angle, but I'm very happy the way most young people are thinking and looking at issues, even from religious angle. And I can tell you for free, Kenny, very soon most of our religious leaders will know that it is no longer business as usual. Because people are asking questions. A situation wherein you have religious leaders and they will tell you, don't speak to a man of God. People are now realizing that it is the God of Israel they are talking about. That they are capturing the world's attention because of their war with Hamas. Go to Israel and see young people carrying automatic rifles in readiness for war. You know, the last war took place on my birthday, 7th of October. And the war is raging. I think today the Israeli parliament is going to meet, touching that same thing about prisoners exchange and all whatnot. That is the God we are talking about. They are protecting themselves. They are depending on the God. So what kind of deceit are we having? Are we under here? So to me, these people, do you know within that realm, they don't talk about religion. That place they have 160 million SUV bulletproof cars. They don't talk about religion. They don't.
You mean they don't talk about religion?
It doesn't matter.
And when Akpabio did his welcome remarks, it was Allah that he acknowledged.
Well, he even said he will send prayers to their mailboxes.
No, I was shocked. You have Christian lawmakers speak. And when they speak, they want to reference. They say God, and the Muslims will say Allah.
Allah.
But when Akpabio was speaking on the floor of the Senate 2 days ago, welcoming senators back, it was Allah, he said.
No, you can say that now.
No problem. In fact,
no.
Let me say this.
Okay, you can say that there's no political undertone.
Let me say this to you.
Okay, no problem.
By Section 10 of the Constitution, Nigeria is supposed to be a secular state.
Yes.
If they are migrated, that can happen. Religious sporting can.
Do you know the only reason I mentioned this is because you said there is no religion for them.
No, there is
no.
That is why I mentioned.
No, they are sworn in using what you believe, whether the Bible or Quran or anything.
No. Good. Then after that, they are united in keeping us in this perpetual slavery, mental or otherwise. They are united at that altitude to make sure that we are kept under, that we cannot raise question. That's why somebody can be bold enough to tell you that we only use party as a vehicle to gain ascendancy to that position. They are united. Okay. Do you think that members of the National Assembly do not know that Nigeria has the manpower and capacity to refine our crude locally for the benefit of all Nigeria? They know. Okay. But there is something that unites them, that they know that if they give that leverage and Nigerians are kind of liberated economically, they can be enslaved.
Mr. Momo.
Yes, I think the leadership of the House has not handled the issue properly. If not, it's not supposed to go out. It's not supposed to leak. They are not supposed to debate such. It's a normal process. They are not supposed to debate such thing in the open. Usually, when they have their closed door meetings, or they meet, the leaders of the House meet, and all. But I think it's the leadership that didn't coordinate that well. Now, having said that, I think also, you remember the time the open debate happened about constituency allowance, where some were referred to as senior members who got about 500 something and all, and some
senior that got less.
Yes, that also was not supposed to come out.
So what should come out?
No. See, in every organization tonight, it's not everything even the staffs know.
This is the National Assembly.
No, you see, it's the National Assembly. Why did you not see? You see, sometimes, take for example, during the debate of when Barra was presiding over the House, and this man from Borno State, Ndume, such things should not be allowed
to come out.
There are usually a debate before the normal debate, and the procedure and ways. It was actually that they have agreed that let these guys come in and educate us, and those things ought to have been discussed from the inside. That okay, today we'll be allowing these people to come, and he was saying that in the rules of the House, that was what causes the debate. It was not whether for or against. That thing was not listed. Ordinarily, when they are in that closed chamber, they are supposed to say, okay, this is what we allow today, this person is coming, everyone knows. The leaders know. So when you have debate and you have people grumbling and they are not satisfied by certain things, it means that from the inside, things are not well.
So
that's how I see it.
A budget defense session should not be public.
No, budget defense is different.
But that's what happened. That's this case.
No, you see,
it's a case of budget defense.
Yes, but this has to do with the House.
No, it's a joint committee. The permanent secretary was presenting his 2025 proposals to the joint committee, and they asked him questions about the performance of the 2024 budget. They saw certain items. SUVs. We'll spend 2 billion on SUVs. We'll spend 3.9 billion on changing vehicles for the presidency.
Unfortunately, this other man who was saying that Nigerian roads, they need almost about 700 billion or so, and they are not getting it for works that to maintain Nigerian roads, they need almost about 700 billion. And I quickly went back to even check in the 2024 budget how much was allocated. It was about 68 point something billion.
Okay.
So, then what is our priorities?
Our priorities. How about how much they're spending on the coastal road? That is also not in the budget.
No, that is not supposed to be in the budget now.
Okay,
on what?
Okay,
why not?
Let's assume it's not. It's a different debate, and I'm trying to manage time. But they are building a coastal road that seems to be important to the president.
Is it important to the president or important to the nation?
It's a personal project.
I said seem to be because you have a lot of roads, national roads that are failing. Fixed. You haven't fixed those roads. You're thinking of a gigantic project like a coastal road. that the cost of that road is almost 2 times your budget.
Funded by the federal government?
It's part national, but the part that the government is paying.
No, because that road will be tolled. That's the meaning.
Oh, okay.
No,
but the part that the government is paying is almost twice the budget.
Shouldn't it be in the budget?
It's almost twice the budget.
Because the budget should accommodate all the expenses the government is supposed to make, as well as the revenues that will come in there.
So, in conclusion,
and by the way, when we read down, the National Assembly gave approval for the spending of that amount.
Yes.
So when they
but an approval doesn't mean that thing must be executed.
It doesn't mean.
No, it doesn't mean. No. You see, sometimes is it environment they call it now something.
Yes.
Sometimes you might say, okay, this aspect need money. You move. It doesn't mean that for every budget approved, that thing must be applied to the later. For example, why do they need those SUVs? This guy said something on the floor. Why do they buy computer every year? Why?
Every year.
Why do they buy vehicles every year?
Every year when they present the same budget, they say the same thing and they still approve it. The National Assembly still approves it.
I know. For me, I think even approval doesn't mean that it must be executed. Because if you use your money, remember what we are going to borrow in that budget is close to almost about is it 13 or 15 trillion that will be borrowing. And so when you get to that borrowing aspect, I think it has to do with certain things. You say, no, these are not priorities. Buying a vehicle every year, for who? Do we change our vehicles here every year? So you buy computer every year, the president kitchen must change spoons every year, for what?
Okay. I'm upset.
Kelly, I'm lost.
The lawmakers, I'm asking, are we surprised that the lawmakers are angry?
They are not angry. If they're angry, they simply cancel the item. Yeah, that's what serious people do.
They're surprised.
But
Kelly said they're angry.
That's what the paper said.
Kelly should not
it's from the paper.
accept.
It's not from Kelly. It's not me. It's from the paper.
Kelly should not accept this imputation of emotion to lawmakers that are quite happy, raising questions that will profit them in the end. Because when they raise those questions, you're expected to come and make them happy if they are not happy, so that the budget can go. Let us see what they have ever cancelled in a budget in the last 2 years. What are the items they have cancelled, that they have changed, that they have made better for the Nigerian people? Where a budget has the public sector provisions and the citizens' provisions, let us look at the analysis and see how much of the budget applies to the comfort of the Nigerian citizen. You will see that it's very minimal. What we have is budget benefiting the public sector operatives and their private sector collaborators.
Okay.
The 6 billion naira marked for cars will be given to public sector users. It will be procured from private sector suppliers. So the two sectors will go home happy. Not necessarily the Nigerian citizen. It's another resource taken out of the pool that would have benefited Nigerian citizens. Look, since 2023, when President Tinubu came in, we have seen how the nation's budget has worked. It has not shown any thoroughness in planning or in execution. It has always been reactive in the last 2 years. And the performance of the preceding year has not seemed to inform the focus of the incoming year. For instance, we switched off petroleum subsidy by presidential declaration. It was then we realized that we needed to think about what to do after subsidy. That's not how good budgets are run. The budget should have anticipated it and provided the mechanism and details of how the burden of the masses would be taken away. It did not happen.
Okay.
Last year, we came up with the fancy idea of CNG.
It's not trending again, no?
Oh, I'm glad you know. CNG conversion centers. That should have been in the budget of 2023 if it was supposed to be the silver bullet to reduce the burden of high fuel price on the Nigerian citizen. But like you said, it has disappeared like the Hamatan. You know, it came, it blew smoke, ravaged the pockets of the public sector funding, and it's gone. There is no evidence that states have bought into this. States are not setting up the conversion plants. Citizens are not being encouraged to invest in that sector in order to create jobs and grow capacity to make better use of our gas resources. And in any case, Kelly, this is the amazing thing. We are an oil-producing country that should promote the utilization of our oil and gas properly. The president goes to the Middle East states, Middle East countries, and he sees them encouraging the use of vehicles, not CNG vehicles. They are petroleum-driven cars.
Okay.
All over the Middle East. Why? Because they recognize that the economy requires that petroleum be utilized internally in order to keep their business going, to improve their revenue as the producers.
Okay.
It's like going to America still promotes. Donald Trump was voted for because America under him will be promoting the use of coal in power plants in some parts of the United States of America. Why? They produce that. They're not going to be importing it. So they don't want to phase it out because it means jobs, it means money, revenue for the state, and it means comfort for the citizens.
Okay.
There is nothing like that we are doing. So the CNG project died after the initial jubilation because it was not properly thought out. The subsidy withdrawal, we live with the pain without the expected benefits 2 years after, and our budgets are silent on that. No state government has set up has encouraged the setting up of vehicle manufacturing plants that can run on CNG if Nigeria is going to transition from petroleum-driven vehicles to natural gas-driven vehicles. There should be an arrangement by the states to fund private sector investment in partnership or even as joint venture businesses so that these things can exist.
So these are the areas that the National Assembly should be pushing for.
Precisely. And state assemblies should take ownership.
At least we can hear debates now. Budget debates at the Glasgows, at the states. Do we even have them?
No, we've stopped. Our assemblies have become spectators. They are no longer House of Assemblies.
Mr. Lawmakers expressed surprise over spending of 6 billion on replacement and purchase of new vehicles at the villa.
I don't understand. Why are they expressing surprise?
In fact, they're angry.
And maybe it's just like the anger is the one that could register on the face, but it not get to the heart. Just that once you look at them, yes, they are angry truly, but if you take any of them, perhaps go into ways nobody sees you, say, are you truly angry? No, oh boy, leave them, I'm not annoyed at all. That's what I read in their anger. You see, because when the president, they also know about the purchase of the aircraft of the president, whether it's first hand or 10th hand, but they know about it because they finally said there was a pool of funds kept for such emergencies.
They did?
Of course,
Yes.
now they said so. They said so when was it Abaribe or whoever said that they didn't know, was when the truth came out that yes, there was a pool of and I don't know what they called it.
Sovereign wealth.
No.
I don't know what they call it. I can't remember.
It's a sovereign wealth fund.
No, it's not sovereign wealth.
Whether sovereign wealth or what, but I can't remember exactly myself. But they took it from that fund and they authenticated the taking from data in meeting such emergencies. What I'm only saying is that.
Well, I'm just hearing.
At least I heard that very well. I think I read it also. I read it. And what I'm only saying is that, you see, these are the type of things that have been happening. If, like I heard when Mama was saying about what's the essence of buying. You see, if any of them were living in his house doing his own business, will he be changing cars every year? So, Aso Rock, you remember when the wife of Buhari came and said there was it paracetamol or whatever in the Aso Rock clinic?
Despite the amount of money.
Yes. It means that they know how things are done. What that woman was expressing is that at least this is the seat of government. There should have been that difference from every other, because they know there is no healthcare anywhere in the country. But in Aso Rock, at least, there should be a semblance of healthcare. But this one, no paracetamol at all. So it means things have run to the sea. That's what it means. For me, I think they are not truly annoyed. They are just deceiving Nigerians. Because why should they be? Themselves, was it not after the last assembly left, they came in, I think they bought them SUVs and all that. So their own.
They are working vehicles now.
That is what I'm saying. Working. This one, Aso Rock, is he going to sell it? Is it a car stand?
No, but,
they are going to make use of them.
In their own case now, some of them are new lawmakers.
Yes.
So are you going to go and drag cars from those that were not re-elected?
Kelly, if it's where things work well, the ones that don't have cars should be bought cars. But the ones that have, see,
so you mean in the house, some people will get new cars, some people will be driving old cars?
That's what I'm asking. If they were in their private businesses, would they be buying new cars any year that comes? They change it.
But this is
at the rate of buying cars in this country.
But it's a country now. How would it look? We all park at the garage. Some are brand new, some are old. It don't look nice now.
Well, the opinion I have, my personal opinion is that they are not annoyed.
They are not annoyed.
Yes.
Gami, I still insist that you are the one saying they're annoyed. Kelly, if I approve something for you, I say take this, go and buy this. The next time I see you, the question I'll ask you is, where is the thing I asked you to buy? If you don't have it, then I ask for the money.
Yes.
Is it not?
Yes.
So how is it that I'm the one who gave you the money, who approved it, and has to go and buy,
and
then you come back and then you say I'm angry that
I bought it.
That you is that how does that does it make sense? I thought the whole session is about we'll give you this for this. What's the evidence that you did what we gave you the money for? So if you want to give an explanation as okay, yes, so you gave us this money, but for them, this was what we used it for and all that, we will understand. But to come and be angry that, or to form anger that you went and got the money, you went and used the money for which we gave you. I mean, I don't understand it. But these things happen, and they have just done it so that they can draw the attention of the. It's a give and take thing, mind you. But when they give them, they can also take their own. If you don't give, and you may not also get. So they know what they're doing.
But that's the general principle with generosity now.
But
give and it shall be given unto you.
Between them and the executive, they can be doing that. But far from, I'm not sure they are angry as such, and I'm not even sure they even formed anger. Okay. They just discussed and say, we'll give you this money. If you don't have it, let's have our own share. I think that's the way it just goes. So forget that one.
It's all right.
Don't agree for anything.
Before the press, they squeeze their face.
I feel like it's not as that deep.
No, it's the first
person, right? There's no way. It seems like he's hiding sometimes. So let me take reactions from you listening. You want to call in and react to the stories that we read out, the ones we've been able to discuss. The floor is open. Phone line 0817-0000951 and 0810951091. Those are the numbers to call. Recall you have 60 seconds to make your point. Today 95.1. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Kemenima.
Welcome to Hosford. Please go on.
Yeah, good morning to the rest of the panelists in the studio.
Good morning.
Yes, Sanusi, as a person, I just love Sanusi. He is an intellectual of great repute. This is a man that said, "Look, I don't want to give you my ideas because you don't want it. You don't. You are so unfriendly to me. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong because he said the Tinubu government does not have credible people to sell this idea. So that is by the way. So I don't think Sanusi is wrong in that, and I don't see it as being pompous or whatever. And the only thing that I hold against Sanusi was that $49 billion during Goodluck time. So that's the only flaw I know that Sanusi did. He made 3 separate statements. Probably to discredit Goodluck Jonathan government.
Okay.
So if he was there that he had problems with Goodluck Jonathan, after that time, $5 scuba house came and they found that there was nothing like that, and it was only $1.5 billion that was.
Thank you. Today 95.1. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Kelly, Daima, and the guest in the studio.
Welcome. Please go on.
I am K. Moscow. Melekare said NMPC remitted 10 trillion.
Okay.
To the national coffers. For me, I think I'm afraid for Melekare. I think any moment from this day, he will be sacked. You remember the president told Nigerians that how his administration has done so well. How at the point he was talking, they have not taken anything from NNPCL. And today, Melekare is telling Nigerians that NNPCL remitted 10 trillion to the Nigerian coffers. I think I humbly want the presidency to respond to Melekare.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
But the answer is straightforward now. Let's assume that what Melekare is saying is correct. And Tinubu too saying that he has not touched it doesn't mean the money was not remitted. The money might be there, and Tinubu says let's source from other places and leave that account. So even me, I can explain it now. It's just that somewhere inside of me, so I don't trust Melekare that much. So when he's telling me this one part is saying,
That's supposed to cover.
Okay.
We have not queried that.
And we don't even have that information yet. And yet he claims that they do yearly audits. And they're the most reputable company in Nigeria.
From federal government.
Did they still get money from federal government?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Why is he coming for budget defense? Why is he coming for budget defense?
No, he has to come and let's interrogate it for a moment. We're going back to we're still taking calls, yeah? The shares of the NNPCL are held in trust for Nigerians by the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and Ministry of Finance and I think the Presidency, in that order, right? So those persons are accountable to the National Assembly now. Isn't that correct?
How much is federal government giving them now?
We don't know the figure now. He just told us. He just told us that they've remitted 10 trillion and 3.5 trillion in royalties and taxes so far. That's what he said now.
They are getting money from the federal government.
They're still getting money from the federal government.
That's why they're coming for budget defense.
Okay, well, that's all right. Let me continue to take calls. Today 95.1. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Welcome, sir.
Christian from Port Harcourt. The one that really caught my attention is these lawmakers that are changing their cars every year. That come, they want to change cars for their lawmakers. They want to renovate their houses. They want to do this.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? See, you just want to shout that one and go. You don't even want to get clarification. It's not every year. Please, is it every year that they buy them cars and houses? It's not every year. Please.
No, but it's the villa.
This is for the villa now.
So, has this happened every year? Has the villa submitted a budget for vehicles every year?
So the caller was saying for lawmakers, for the villa. Please, just slow down so that we can share the information that we have with you. It's better to be informed, though, and just get angry. Yeah? 0817-000-951, 0810-951-0951. I read messages, take calls as I see them. The January 1966 coup had an agenda to install a Southwest politician as prime minister. It was not an ethnically motivated coup, as some people erroneously claim. There was counter coup in July 1966, but that was also bloody. Here's the thing. After the Nigeria-Biafra war, there has been no official reconciliation. The Three Republic promised by Gowon and FG was not implemented till today. After Rwanda genocide, there was reconciliation. After the end of the apartheid in South Africa, there was reconciliation. After the Liberia war, civil war, there was reconciliation, and these countries have moved on. Until Nigeria organizes a truth and reconciliation treaty between Nigeria and the relics of Biafra, now called Southeast, there will be no Nigeria and the relics of Biafra, now called Southeast, there will be no peace. Hamas and Israel just broke a truce. This is from Gold. Good morning, Kelly. I felt the way you felt when I heard Akpabio use Allah. Oh, you said there's an undertone. Okay, Pastor Vincent. And I heard it. I'm like, you didn't need to say that, but okay. Kelly, good morning. Did you hear it?
Yeah.
You heard it, right?
Yeah.
Allah is God now.
No,
my brother.
In the context which you said, in the context with which the way he said it. No, I was like, but Akpabio is still a Christian. The last I checked.
I know he's referring to his Christian. No, but
they are Christian lawmakers, senators.
No, but you know that even Christians in the north, they refer to God as Allah now. Yes, no.
Okay.
I didn't meet them that well. So sometimes
no, it's Allah now.
You want to accommodate the understanding.
No, I was born in the north now.
Yeah, you want to accommodate the understanding of the person you're talking to. And so you reach across his own frame of reference in order to make him understand. So when you say Allah, you have not changed religion. You're only trying to make the man who believes in Allah to take the matter seriously.
I agree.
Exactly.
But in the same stead, there are Christian lawmakers.
That was what
there.
this one did.
Who did? Akpabio.
Yeah.
Okay. Kelly, good morning, and the guest in the studio. Sheikh Osani is absolutely correct. For we're still city and religion, religious beliefs have eaten deep into our society, especially our leaders in appointment and virtually all other areas of activities. The first school was highly based on ethnicity and religion. Up till now, hey, Pastor Sunday from Umugbo. It's actually used this word. Okay. I'll look at your advice, Pastor Sunday from Rumugbo. Thank you. Good morning, Kelly and the guests. My name is Engineer Joe. I think the injury of the coup that consumed Ahmadu Bello and others is still fresh in the minds of some Nigerians, and it's glaring that this mistrust and misgivings from the North, coupled with the fear with the war, is still raging and reflecting in our lives today. Notably, the suspicion on certain ethnic groups that they don't believe in the Nigerian project, hence the vehemence in stopping them from ruling this nation. I don't know why. Okay. Thank you. When you shoot there, I will not read it. You still shoot. Today 95.1, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Special greeting to my brother. Emma, you are still my brother. You are still my brother. Happy New Year. My name is Lucky. I'm coming from Port
Thank you, but I don't know who is talking.
You're supposed to know me now. Me, your brother. It's okay. Let me not to waste my time. So, listen, gentlemen, let's tell ourselves the truth. Check how they are treating Southeast. Some people say that they're not from South. They're not from South. Sorry, they're from East. Check well. Check from here to Aba. For how many years? Is it not federal road? Check how they kill us during Nigerian Biafran war. Even up till now, they are still killing us. How can we be happy? Check how they are maltreating us. Okay, assume that you carry a motor now going to Aba. Being an Igbo man. The other person load human being heads. They will just stop you from Igbo and then allow the other one to go. How can we be happy? Gentlemen, ask Gowon what is happening in North. Unless he will come and say Igbos that they are sorry.
Okay.
They apologize.
Thank you. That is your time. Today 95.1, besides we can independently verify the claims you made. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, Kelly and the guest. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
AB from Port Harcourt. Still on the spirit of remembrance and the peace school and what have you. I was watching a preview last night where the panel that was set up interrogating some officers who substituted names of those who are involved and put the name of Igbos in their names of being an Igbo crew. And I was laughing with my wife last night. As you can see, those who have hatred on Igbos, they can go any length to subjugate you, to make sure that you are nailed to the cross. And that was exactly what happened in 1970. But today, have we solved the problem? Why was Gowon declared that war as no vanquished, no victor? That's the question I'm asking. But today, 3 hours as a promise, have they implemented anyone?
All right, thank you.
Years after.
That is your time. Today 95.1, good morning.
Good morning.
Wellington, welcome.
Let me greet I'm Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
Let me talk about villa purchasing new cars. First of all, how many cars do they have in the villa? Do they have mechanics here? What is the function of each car? And how many cars do they want to purchase? Which one is bad? If they say we should have patience, we should endure, we should tolerate. We don't have money, and they're spending money. You see, let me borrow your word. This government is not a serious government. Thank you and God bless you.
I did not say this government is not a serious government. I said this country, we're not acting like a serious country. Please quote me right. Thank you, Wellington. Good morning, Kelly and the guest. Emir Sanusi declined to offer help to FG. I think the Emir is right, following the antecedents of the present administration that doesn't want to take any advice offered to them. Rather, they will attack the personality. So the Emir is right in his direction, and I don't see anything derogatory. Okay. Sanusi did not miss any opportunity as far as this administration is concerned, because he still has so many opportunities waiting for him. Wilfred Jonah sent this message. Thank you, Wilfred, for reaching out. Good morning, Kelly and the panelists. As far as I'm concerned, Emir Sanusi did not do anything wrong. Is it by force to sell any government to the people? The Nigerian government helps Sanusi in acquiring the knowledge he has by means of scholarship or grant. I have a philosophy or if you don't treat me like rubbish and expect me to carry you like a bag of salt. As far as I'm concerned, I stand with Sanusi here, who national interests help. Would Chidebere from Oibo sent that message. Sanusi is actually bitter about this administration, but he should put the interests of the masses ahead of politicians in respect of the irrespective of the irresponsibility of the administration and economic policies. If he has a way out, I urge him to educate them. Michael Sunday, Osuoba. Today 95.1, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Kelly, Chief Indukwe, and the guests in the studio.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, a blessed one to you all, and a bad one to all the bad politicians who are stealing and getting fat in their bank accounts and impoverishing Nigeria. Mr. Kelly, you see, it is quite sad that this Jagaban, at a time like this man came. I don't know whether I want to destroy us, because Mr. Kelly, can you imagine these people will be buying car, escalate this thing, adding budget to their own, and be taxing common Nigerians every day. Do you know, Mr. Kelly, I don't know, these days when I load recharge card, before you know it, the thing will finish. And they were saying they wanted to increase that this thing on whether is this TCS or ICT. This thing, they have already done it before they were saying it. And this man is not concerned. Look at everything. This man is not concerned. All he's concerned about is how him and his men, they will be embezzling and enjoying. They say NSPPS, what they call them, up to 10 trillion naira. And Mr. Kelly, nothing is reflecting in our economy. Nothing is our refinery. This government is not a 419 government.
Thank you, Sam. That is your time. Good morning, Kelly. I'm the guest. Give Joseph NIPC remitting 10 trillion to FG upon borrowing. Upon that borrowing was the order of the day, and I cannot see what the money is being used for. Tax increment is telling on Nigerians. Let Mr. President know that. He said, may the soul of Onanuga rest in peace. Okay, death is the only thing that doesn't know rich or poor. Give Joseph sent that one. Final call. Today 95.1. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Kelly.
Welcome, sir.
Okay, man, go. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Ed Allison on the line. Kelly, I know that you are the anchor, but I want to take my position, my question to the man I regard the most elderly here. Maybe your man, maybe they are made. I'm going to put on a box. Please, sir, I want to ask you a question. The head of the coup, 1966, was who?
I don't know who was the head, though. I wasn't part of the...
Don't need to respond. I've already moved on. So, please, Elder, you can drink water. It's good for you. In my opinion, those who voted in President Tinubu have made a huge mistake because the president does not accept any good idea. Rather, the president thinks he knows it all. Zeus. Okay. Good morning, Kelly and the panelists. The expatriate's death, Mr. Ruben, so sad. Insecurity situation in some parts of River State is disturbing and worrisome. Eleme Junction access is one of the areas kidnapping and criminal activities take place on daily basis. Owanate Clinton West tasked the Nigerian Police River State Command on the upsurge of kidnapping and criminal activities along Eleme Junction access. I charge the police to live up to its promise to safeguard Nigerians. All right. Thank you for reaching out. Good morning, panelists. Kudos to Governor Fubara for once he didn't speak politics. Just as he said, please let the 50 million naira be paid to the widows directly. Governor Fubara is beginning to speak wisdom. It's a sign of unity between himself and my Ikore brother, the FCT Minister, Yesom Wike, and Tinamadi Soki for Rumo Paralim. It's our politics, sha. I totally praise and salute Emir of Kano, Sanusi, for his stand on the Tinubu administration. President Tinubu does not deserve any good support from brilliant Nigerians because he, the president, will never accept the advice. Rather, they will come out attacking the individual. President Tinubu should be allowed to fail woefully. Writer from Woji. that's how you feel. All right, some of the reactions there. Let me squeeze in one or two more from WhatsApp. Charles Honor say the current National Assembly led by Senator Akpabio is not a serious one. They are rubber stamp senators dancing at executive. The executive buys cars without National Assembly approval. The whole thing tire me. Okay. Do you have a problem with the Rivers man saying it?
For 8 years, did they even see the budget of Rivers State? 8 years, did they see it? To even say they would debate it? Was it seen?
Okay, that's the problem.
Was it seen?
So you should not
now
talk.
You accuse others of rubber stamp. So what do we have here?
Well, maybe we have fantastic stamp.
Plastic stamp.
The governors are even the raw dictators. See, governors. I'm not just referring to Rivers State. Governors.
Oh yeah. Hey.
What they put in budget. Who in the State of Assembly will remove what a governor put in a budget?
Why can't they remove it? Are they afraid?
Who has ever removed?
Why can't they remove it?
During Wike's time, before Wike drives and get back to office, that budget has been passed first reading, second reading. It has been approved.
An hyperbole, actually.
Not really.
An hyperbole. Not like that. Sometimes it takes a week.
No.
A week.
No.
Oh, yes.
In Rivers State, no.
Oh yes.
No, sir. What year? Rivers State. Even this one during holiday plus holiday 2-3 days.
We know that the budget process. It's still not particular.
Maybe it takes 3 days, weekend inclusive.
but not the way he has said. That's why I said hyperbole.
He's very correct.
No.
It's an hyperbole.
1 week.
To say that Wike will submit the budget, and by the time he leaves the assembly,
before he gets to office,
no.
It was not just Wike. It started from Governor Odele's time.
No, Odele was even fair, but under Amechi,
progressively it declined,
and it's still declining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, the budget is train as it had been in the past. We can understand the situation now. The full complement of assembly members are not there.
And even in that same situation, we're doing 100% implementation.
Yeah. Wow. We're doing 100% implementation.
Wow.
We are giving a breakdown of budget content that was never there before.
We
published.
It's
in the public domain.
No, but this budget is not in the public domain.
It is.
I can't find it.
Try and look. You'll find it. It's in the public domain.
It's in the public domain, eh?
Yeah.
And I asked about the details for the Ministry of Agriculture. They sent me the front line.
No, what they release are summaries. But now they break down.
No, but if it's in public domain, I should be able to access it easy now. So when I asked, they would have just said, check that place, you'll find it there.
Maybe.
I would have gone there to look for
like
it.
ours now in those states, it has a website. If you go there, it's there.
I went to one website. It's supposed to be Rivers State government website.
No, I'm not talking about Rivers State.
I'm talking on my own now. The last update was first 100 days in office. Anyway, let me read a few more messages. At least I went to the website now.
It is not just Rivers State. You see the governors across Nigeria.
Yes.
How Father
You're
Lord.
very correct.
No.
We are part of a research investigation of how state governments use the budgets between 1999 and 2005. And essentially the focus was on how Niger Delta states, oil-producing states, how they do public,
public hearing?
No, not even public hearing. The budget management process. The process, the research was coordinated, designed and coordinated by the Center for Advanced Social Studies.
Okay.
Center for Advanced Social Science, CAS. Founded by late Professor Claude Ake.
Okay.
This was when the executive director was Professor Dele Ginod. Now, it was sponsored by the a UN agency. We did this study and took the evidence to debate at Obasanjo's farm in Ota. And the evidence was glaring. From the 6 Niger Delta states plus Imo and Abia, the evidence was clear that people didn't see their budgets. We couldn't even find the evidence of budget anyway.
Okay.
So it didn't start now. We need to address it.
We need to address it, eh? Okay. We'll address it one of these days. But
I don't know who can curb their power, so governors.
We can curb their
governors.
Is the people.
Governors.
Until we wake up
They
from
are
this
the problem of democracy in Nigeria.
To continue, huh?
Yeah, but I just hope that no one can really predict how things will move. If Nigerians could wake up, you see, the enormity of wealth that is here will shock you.
Okay.
And upon all the stealing, if you know how much money these people have stolen, in fact, they are shocked that Nigeria has not gone bankrupt. I can tell you that for free. Nobody knows the salary of the government, the sitting government.
Even security votes.
Security vote. All those things are coded. I'm hearing yesterday for the first time. I think we should focus on it. That was a glad news that a local government chairman is saying that Governor Fubara is the first to implement full financial autonomy to them.
What's that? We should talk about it.
No, I say in course of time we should focus on it.
Focus on it how?
They should know that, you see, this local government.
Yes.
Whether they like it or not, it's a matter of time, just like what we are seeing in Rivers State today. Now we are waking up to it to realize that Rivers State has so much to gain from internally generated revenue. Do you understand it?
We asked about probity, accountability, transparency in government.
Good.
We are making this amount of money. Show us the breakdown.
Yeah.
How are you doing it? How are you doing it?
He has to.
Has he said anything?
No, but you know,
the local government chairman, to come into praise, it's political patronage.
No, what I'm saying
what
is
else
that
are we supposed to say?
Whether
Chairman,
they like it or not.
the previous one said the same thing about Wike.
But sorry. The day the governor made the revelation here, you know, I was privileged to be here, where he said it is not that they tax other people or expand this thing. The IGR here moved from 13 billion to 27 billion.
Yeah.
And then an inquiry need to come up. So what has been happening over the years?
We've asked now.
See, it is public wealth, not individual wealth. So an inquiry need to come. What has been happening?
Inquiry from where?
We asked the same question now. Did you not ask the same question here?
No.
When I ask this question, people think that I'm anti-government. I asked the same question here. How did we jump from 13 billion to 27 billion?
13, I had 12.
No, you said the average. I said it fluctuates now. How do you jump from this to this? And at the end of the year, you said that we've made 300 billion.
100 billion. The state said didn't borrow any money. And
you didn't increase the tax net, nothing.
The inquiry I'm saying is that if you are able to move from 13 to 27 billion, two things. Some persons have not been paying, and we need to know why they are not been paying their taxes. And they just started paying taxes. And if they have been paying, who were the officers in charge? And what has been happening? Call them back. They took salaries, they took the back of everything.
Sorry. I can't say. Let me not act like I understand how you feel. But it's just that we've had this conversation. That's how people said that some people say it wasn't necessary. That the governor has done what he's supposed to do. He has revealed that something shady was going on. I said, the governor revealed. Where did he reveal?
No, he didn't reveal anything.
Okay. It's good that these things are in public domain.
13 billion to 27 billion, and we are not concerned.
I think that we are at fault, because what makes government is the reaction of the people. Government policy direction is informed by the reaction of the people. Yes, in the studio here we talk about it. Our business is to verify information, disseminate information, promote awareness. But what people do with the information is a different thing. We need to grow this stakeholder consciousness that it is not the government that should query itself. It is us, the people, in our professional groups, business associations, student units, and so on, that should come up to look. Serap
should be praised, actually.
Serap gets up and says, we go to court and find out what they will summon a particular agency of government or even the federal government, come and tell us what you've done with this. Since Governor Fubara made that revelation. None of us has called a press conference to say, Governor, give us a breakdown. We are so group of River citizens. We are interested in getting the details of what you announced. No group has gone to court to challenge the government before to come and explain why there was this disparity. The breakdown will show what areas of the economy started producing such quantum of tax collection.
And that is the accountability.
Yes. Well, accountability is the details of the accountability that we are interested in.
But we asked the question. The governor made a claim that
Yes.
she implemented the 2024 budget 100%.
Yes.
And I said, how is this possible? And really, the information is for the people. I asked the question. A lot of people came to the defense of the governor. Oh, he did this. Oh, he did this. And I said, wait, though, I'm even at odds right now. Why am I at odds? I don't have the details of the 2024 budget. If I had the details of that budget, I can now sit down and say, you say you did this project. What's the stage of this implementation of this project? What's the stage of this one? For us to justify 100%.
Yes.
Right? But once you mention it, people are very sentimental about the current government. So
not sentimental. They are patronizing.
Okay, they are patronizing.
Yes.
At their own expense.
Yes. Out of
I like
self-interest.
Okay.
They are patronizing in the sense that they hope that by doing so
something will get to them.
They become the favored group. Okay. Don't forget that there are three groups fighting. There are three groups of interest thrown up by the situation in Rivers State. Apply in every other state, but Rivers State situation made them public for those who care to look. Look, there are those who fight to retain what they had in the old order. They want to, the new government should continue to maintain what was there for them. There are those who are fighting not to change the new order, but to change those who were enjoying the old order. Right? A third group is those fighting for good governance. We don't want the old order. We are not interested in those who had been profiting from it, but we don't want turn by turn looting. So, unfortunately, this third group, we appear to be behind. We are not coming forward, getting organized in small groups in a meaningful way to push the kind of question you're raising.
Well, let me read some more messages. So we close already 19 past 11. I still have a number of items to read. Greetings, Kelly. I don't want to help Tinubu's government on solutions to economic issues. Sanusi, President Tinubu should look for renowned financial experts to help him remove us from this mess they have put us into. The country is going down on a daily basis. Our naira has lost its value. On Sani's claim, even if we shout or cry from now till next tomorrow, the federal government will do what's on their mind. Thank God, ability at Tribu. Those are messages from the traditional, from WhatsApp channel. Okay, thank God I just read a message from you, so let me skip that. Good morning, Kelly and the panelists. The noble Nigerians that have given this administration advice, have they taken it for once? And why would the federal government and some persons be angry on what Sanusi has said? Mr. Dennis, he sent this one. Kelly, the VIOs were not circumspect. It did not occur to them that you may be a high-ranking public officer on an investigative mission, Sir Innocent. And that would only happen if they are doing something strange, if they are doing something shady. I asked them, who sent you? They said, Rivers State government. In fact, when I called the Commissioner for Information yesterday, they said, call him. I told them, I want to confirm that state government people should be here. So I called the commissioner. They said, call the commissioner. They stood by my door. Call the commissioner. And I called the commissioner and he told me what he told me yesterday. I judged it. So apparently they had nothing to hide. They even told me, they said, Kelly, so you want us to go and stay? If we go to the office, we don't get anything. I said, I don't understand. They said, we're paid on commission. So they have to be on the road. We are paid on commission.
The pity that they must be on the road and they are not paid salary for me is secondary. Well, the first thing is, what did the law says?
Well, I may have left it to my papers are in order. They stopped me. We have press privileges, so I can get to a checkpoint and tell them press and they will allow me go. I won't even need to do it. I'll just say press. An officer can insist, can I see your ID card? and I'll show you my ID card and you'll let me go. If I have expired papers, they will even check. Small stupid privileges. Yes, I said so. But they are there. But my papers, I try to put my papers in order. But the information is for citizens. What you do with it is up to you. I salute the Emir of Kano, Sanusi Lamido, for his bold stand toward the Tinubu's administration. President Tinubu does not deserve any good idea. Instead, he deserves great failure. John from Rupoku. You're not understanding the context of the conversation. People are angry, I understand, but we can be reasonably angry, you know? Anyway, let me move on to take some more reactions. Let me look at X quickly. Let's look at X quickly and a few more. On the cars, Clark puts it this way. Good morning. They are not angry or upset. Like they said at the end, there was no cordial relationship, money sharing between the former State House director. This was just noise to startle the new boss. If you don't play ball, we'll reduce your allocation. Well, more like it'll seem. Let me go to Facebook, take a few, and then we close this morning. Facebook. Gerald Emeka. Shehu Sani should. Okay, thank you. Awere Medino, greetings to you all. What happened during the coup was not an Igbo affair. For instance, take a look at this Tinubu administration. All key positions held by Yorubas. If anything coup should happen, Yoruba prominent men will be affected. This is exactly what happened during the coup. Oluna John Amechi, the death of Ahmedu Bello and others is in parts Nigerians. Okay, it's in the past. Nigerians have moved on. It's not hunting me. Okay, that's for you. Thank you. Kingsley, WobiDK, 6 billion is too small to purchase SUV. They should make it 60 billion. This is Nigeria where anything is possible. God help our lawmakers. Muchu, good morning, Mr. Kelly. Please tell Shehu Sani to come out and explain better. Okay. I'll send you his number. Send me a message, private message. I'll send you his number so you can call him. Also, Lucas Stanley, Shehu Sani should explain because this kind of statement may bring an unending crisis. Let him clear the air. Okay. General Post, controversial Boma, Sanusi has missed the opportunity to educate the Northerners on the economic reform of Tinubu's administration. Whether or not Sanusi chooses to help, it makes no difference because he is just one man. Michael Okechukwu, Comrade Michael Okechukwu puts it this way. Shehu Sani, we need more explanation to your statement. Let's understand your points clearly to know where to come in. But it's surprising also that such amount of money is involved when Nigerian citizens in the streets are hunger sick. Chile Edwin, Sanusi has once managed the economy under Goodluck Jonathan with nothing to show and should be ignored like Shehu Sani because they are merely seeking their selfish, cheap attention. Dr. Mrs. Olebara, 34.8% inflation rise triggers fear. The truth of the matter is that this government is bereft of ideas of how to handle the economy of this country. We should stop playing politics with the sorry state of the nation and face the stark realities. Nigerians should not be suffering in the midst of plenty. Amity Prince, Nigerians to pay more for data and calls. What is this our government really doing when we, the masses, keep paying for everything? We provide roads, light, water, and many other things for ourselves that are supposed to be government's responsibility. Chukudi Banugo puts it this way. We remitted 10 trillion into Federation account with all this money being remitted and other monies being recovered by EFCC, yet Nigeria is still borrowing. What are they using all this money? We have not talked about money from subsidy. All right, these are some of the reactions we can take. We have to close. It's almost time. Let me say thank you to members of the panel for joining us this morning, making the time to join us on the show. Thank you all for your time and your contributions. Dana Momo, Public Affairs Analyst and Advocate of Good Governance. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Have a final word.
No.
Okay. Opaka Dokubo, Vice President, NUJ Zone F, South-South. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Kelly.
You have the final word, sir.
What I would like it or not, it's true that we're still being haunted by that situation. That's why we still talk about Biafra today. It's here with us. So, for me, I think we better face it. We need to deal with it frontally.
Maki Tanen Adubabari Esquire, solicitor and advocate, as well as notary public of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, social political analyst, mentor shift coach. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very kindly, Mr. Kelly. To us Nigerians, somehow I would have been discouraged by raising the question, what is the meaning of our continuous talking when there's apparent no result? But I believe that something is going down. Our destiny is in our hands.
Okay.
And we can demand good leadership from these our leaders. And it's high.
To look, this is the budget season. This is when to call the budget to order. Look at it. How is your group represented? The interest of your group represented in the budget. Will it make you grow? Will it increase the efficiency level of your group and your competitiveness? Otherwise, you shout. Remember that we can't win in this system, in the feudal system, when you talk alone. But when we talk as stakeholder approach to getting things changed.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Emmanuel Indukwe, our in-house analyst, thank you too.
Thank you very much, Kelly. Thank you, Nigerians. Sani is very correct in my view, and my opinion is that Nigerians should forget about whatever happened in the past. But as for history, to forget history completely will not be possible. What will only happen is that you do as if it does not exist, while in your heart of hearts it exists, but you move forward because you cannot die when your time has not reached.
That's our show, everyone. Kelly Kemenjima is my name. Thank you for being part of the conversation. Good morning.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
On this day in history, on this day in history, on this day in history. Today in history, January 16. In 1920, prohibition began in the United States as the 18th Amendment went into effect, banning the manufacture, sale, and transportation of alcohol. In 1966, following the military coup in Nigeria, Major General Johnson Aguiyi Ironsi assumed power as head of state, becoming the country's first military leader. In 1970, Muammar Gaddafi was proclaimed the Prime Minister of Libya after leading a successful coup against King Idris in 1969.
In 1976, Argentina ousted a British envoy in dispute over the Falkland Islands.
In 1979, the Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, fled the country amidst growing unrest, leading to the Iranian Revolution and the establishment of an Islamic Republic.
In 1984, the Winter and the Summer Olympics saw record numbers of nations gather together to compete despite political tensions around the globe. In 1991, U.S. President George Bush announced the start of Operation Desert Storm, an allied combat operation to drive out Iraqi forces out of Kuwait. In 1997, comedian and TV star Bill Cosby's 27-year-old son, Ennis Cosby, was murdered after he stopped to fix a tire along California Interstate. In 2021, Trump becomes the first president to be impeached twice.
In 2005, Adriana Ilescu of Romania gave birth to a daughter at the age of 66, becoming one of the world's oldest mothers. In 2013, Algeria's In Amenas gas facility was attacked by Al-Qaeda-linked militants, resulting in a hostage crisis that left 39 foreign workers dead.
On this day in history, on this day in history, on this day in history.
Shoe and one nika. Got no house and I got no car. One black boy for Africa. Got big dreams, they go take me far. All I wanna do is to make the world smile. And music I do is my only substance. And I really got plans to make the world dance, yeah. I make the world dance. As I get money for my pocket, balance it. I go just enter the place, balance it. As I get money for my pocket, balance it. I go just call all my guys, balance it. As I get dollars for my pocket, balance it. I go just do any other way, balance it. As I get money for my pocket, balance it. And my girls flex to Paris. Hello. Give me that thing that you I don't come here to play, I was cut at the place. People try to hold me down, slow me down, I tell them no. Yeah. I just want to enjoy my life, I wanna run my race. Back in the day, they say me a broke. All of them a treat me like a goalie ball. Yeah. Right now my life is a miracle. All the ladies wanna lick me like a lollipop. As I get money for my pocket, balance it. I go just enter the place, balance it. As I get money for my pocket, balance it. I go just call all my guys, balance it. As I get dollars for my pocket, balance it. I go just do any other way, balance it. As I get money for my pocket, balance it. And my girls fly to Paris. Shake it. Got no house and I got no car. One black boy from Africa. Got big dreams, they go take me far. All I wanna do is to make the world smile. And music I do is my only substance. And I really got plans to make the world dance. Yeah, I make the world dance. As I get money for my pocket, balance it. I go just enter the place, balance it. As I get money for my pocket, balance it. I go just call all my guys, balance it. As I get dollars for my pocket, balance it. I go just do any other way, balance it. As I get money for my pocket, balance it. And my girls fly to Paris. As I get money for my pocket, balance it. I go just enter the place, balance it. As I get money for my pocket, balance it. I go just call all my guys, balance it. As I get dollars for my pocket, balance it. I go just do any other way, balance it. As I get money for my pocket, balance it. And my girls fly to Paris.
All right, what better way to approach the weekend than that beautiful song by Timaya Balance here on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. Welcome to Entertainment Today. I'm Queen Chima. I think you need to see my extra energy, but you can only see that if you're watching live on YouTube. Why are you not following? We're following now. Why do you not subscribe to that channel, Today 95.1 FM on YouTube, right? Because I am so excited. I don't know if you are, but I think there are several reasons to, just get pumped up. Maybe the music did that to me, but most importantly, I'm here talking to you. We'll begin entertainment today with the news. So much is happening in Nigeria. I mean, with Spyro, Ubi Franklin, Polo coming up talking about music percentages and all. This is not the first time that Ubi Franklin is being on the news because of unpaid monies, right? But I'll bring you all of that gist here on Entertainment Today. We'll just follow through the progression of what's happening and watch as things unfold. Well, let's begin with the news where Drake sues for defamation over Kendrick Lamar's song. A rap superstar Drake is suing Universal Music Group, UMG, for defamation and harassment over its release of the Kendrick Lamar diss track Not Like Us last year. The song, which formed part of a furious back and forth between the two stars, accused Drake and his entourage of being certified pedophiles who should be registered and placed on neighborhood watch. In papers filed in New York, Drake's lawyers accused the record label of launching a campaign to create a viral hit out of a song that made the false factual allegation that Drake is a criminal pedophile and to suggest that the public should resort to vigilante justice in response. Universal has yet to respond to the allegations. The move comes just 24 hours after Drake withdrew a separate legal action against UMG and Spotify, in which he accused the two companies of conspiring to artificially boost streams of Not Like Us at the expense of his own music. In that case, he argued that the Universal had licensed the song at drastically reduced rates to Spotify and used bots to generate extra plays, generating the false impression that the song was more popular than it was in reality. In a statement at the time, Universal told the BBC the suggestion that the company would do anything to undermine any of its artists is offensive and untrue. It added that no amount of contrived and absurd legal arguments can mask the fact that fans chose the music they want to hear. Spotify also responded that there was no economic incentive for users to stream Not Like Us over any of Drake's tracks. The Swedish streaming company later filed an opposition brief to Drake's petition stating that it should be denied. His lawyers withdrew the case on Tuesday after meeting with representatives from both companies, according to court papers. Singer Linda Nolan, a member of pop group The Nolans, has died at the age of 65, 2 decades after she was first diagnosed with cancer. Nolan found fame in the 1970s alongside sisters Colleen, Maureen, Benny, Denise and Anne, and they scored hits including the 1980 disco classic I'm in the Mood for the Dancing. She was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2005 and given the all clear in 2011, but in 2017 was diagnosed with secondary breast cancer. It spread and by 2023 was in her brain. TV presenter Colleen Nolan said she was utterly devastated by her sister's death, describing Linda as a beacon of love, kindness and strength. Her wit, humor and laughter was infectious. Her presence could lit up any room. Linda had a heart full of compassion and always knew how to bring comfort and joy to those around her. The Nolan sisters became the first Irish act to sell more than 1 million records worldwide and went on to sell 30 million records in total. Their other hits included Gotta Pull Myself Together and Attention to Me. Nolan left the group in 1983 but later reformed with her sisters for several comeback performances. Loose women presenter Kristen Lampert announced Nolan's death on Wednesday's episode of the ITV daytime show, describing it as very sad news. Co-panelist Nadia Suhala said it was an awful shock and said the show's team was sending their love. Well, popular Bollywood actor Saif Ali Khan has undergone surgery and is out of danger after he was stabbed by an intruder in his home overnight, his team has said. The attack took place early on Thursday morning in an upscale neighborhood in the Indian city of Mumbai, where Khan lives with his family. City police told BBC Maritha that the actor was injured after a scuffle broke out between him and an unidentified man who entered his house sometime after midnight. Police have formed teams to investigate the matter. Khan has come out of surgery and is out of danger. He's currently in recovery and the doctors are monitoring his progress, Khan's team said in a statement. Speaking to reporters after the surgery, Dr. Nitin Dang of Lilavita Hospital, where Khan is admitted, said that the actor sustained a major injury to the thoracic spinal cord due to a large knife in the spine. A surgery was performed to remove the knife and repair leaking spinal fluid. 2 other deep wounds on his left head on his neck were repaired by the plastic surgery team, he said. Khan is married to Bollywood star Kareena Kapoor Khan, and the couple have 2 children. The family have not made any public statement yet, but Khan's team said they were safe. Well, in Nigeria, popular Nigerian singer Darlington Achapo, also known as Speed Darlington, has reportedly been arraigned in court and granted bail. One of his lawyers, Deji Adeyanju, disclosed this in a post on X yesterday, Wednesday. Adeyanju wrote, "Please finally arraign Speed Darlington in court. Bail application moved and granted. We are trying to perfect same." It was reported last week that Speed Darlington petitioned the Deputy Inspector General of Police Force Intelligence Bureau in Abuja, DIG Dasuki Galadanchi, asking him to comply with a court order on his continued detention. The singer's counsel, Rosemary E. Hamza, from the chambers of Deji Adeyanju and partners, had emphasized that the court order issued by Justice M.S. Limano December 23, 2024, directed the police to charge Speed Darlington within 48 hours or release him unconditionally. Speed Darlington was initially arrested in October 2024 over allegations of defamation and cyber stalking Burna Boy. The singer was arrested in Lagos and transferred to Abuja, where he was detained by the IGP's intelligence response team in the Guzape area of Abuja. After being released from police custody, he was rearrested in November while performing at a show in Owerri, Imo State, just days after returning to the country. Well, finally on the news, we're seeing Aspire and music executive Ubi Franklin accusing themselves of debts they have refused to pay each other. While Spyro said he was deceived into performing at an event by Ubi and promised an underpayment which he was yet to get, Ubi accused Spyro of failing to give him an agreed percentage from a business they did. Spyro made the revelation on the Echo Room podcast. He narrated that the issue began when Ubi Franklin told him that Davido wanted him to perform at a birthday party. He said, "I have an issue with Ubi Franklin." However, in response, Ubi Franklin tried to set the record straight, saying that Spyro owed him 10% from a deal they did and asked Spyro to send the balance of what is left since there was a deficit. Well, he eventually bought the car for 100 million and I didn't ask him for my 10%. After the money was paid to me, I called Spyro regarding my 10% for the car. He said when he completes the car payment, he would sort me out. After a while, I called him to stop picking my calls. The $5,000 is still with me. Tell him to pay me my 10% since he wants to malign my name. Well, both parties have now gone ahead to release private WhatsApp chats to prove their case. All right, that's all on the news, particularly with the Ubi and Franklin and Spyro's conversation. I'll bring you video clips so you can take a listen to each side. The thing with, there's no single story with this because it was Spyro who started with the accusation, but everyone has come out to give their thought about this. If they decide to settle in court or settle outside of court, well, we'll find out. But like I said, this is not the first time Ubi Franklin is called out for financial misappropriations. Oh, debts, rather. Let's put it that way, debts. And some people are beginning to say this might just be his style, considering that a lot of people think that Spyro is, you know, the guy who's calm and always portraying a certain demeanor and might just be the less problematic person. But you cannot judge. We'll come back with all of those conversations on Entertainment Today on Today 95.1 FM. Don't go nowhere. Stay right here with me.
The answers when I don't know what to do. One more say something, sucking on your mobile.
Tonight I'm feeling good, and now you do me like this. I don't know, say you like it, my tips. I don't know, say you don't hear my gist. Tonight I'm feeling fly, cause you fly like me. Insecure, cause you fly like me. Make my thing go, yeah. Last, I go para, I go send like a million thunder. If they want to come put us under, make it follow thunder to thunder. Yes, I go para, I go send like a million thunder. If they want to come put us under, make my thing go, yeah. I belong to you. I know where I leave my body for you. My heart and my soul for you. I belong to you. lie, leave my body for you. You make my thing go, yeah.
This is the love I've been waiting for, I've been praying for. The only one I can settle for. Wanna love you like no other, baby, if you let me. So man, then chill for me now. Now I'm in limit tight, they come from my boo. Run kilometers, I go right for my boo. Day for your body, I go stay like that too. Not even the cool. No matter the other girls, don't want none of them. Shit out them out, they go use condemn you. Give me your love, I'm the people on them. I go sing for your soul, I'm making your anthem. Girl, you know, man, don't fall like I be the one of Jericho. Man, no feel if you no go ever let you go. You make my heart go bang, bang, bang.
I belong to you. I no go lie, leave my body for you. My heart and my soul for you. I belong to you. I no go lie, leave my body for you. You make my thing go, yeah. Yes, I belong to you. I no go lie, leave my body for you. My heart and my soul for you. Belong to you. I no go lie, we to fight for you. Make my team go, yeah.
Come reason I am moving mad. As I'm the bad, looking like a goodie bag. More say something. Talking at my move, you talk. Whatever they are for.
Entertainment today on Today95.1 FM, Voice of the People. Thank you for staying right there. I'm Queen Chima. Now, I did tell you about the conversations that are going on between Ubi Franklin and Spyro. Now, this is how everything began. Take a listen.
Ubi Franklin. Yeah, so he called me on the morning and he was like, oh, he's going to Ghana. I'm like, oh, what's happening in Ghana? I said, it's Yanya's birthday. I said, let's go celebrate Yanya. Ubi just came down and said, David said that we should come perform at the birthday party that he was invited to, that we should come perform, that he was going to give us 5K. I said, I called him to the side. I said, bro, first of all, I don't charge 5K. My Nigerian currency, where they charge, the least I do is 20 million. And on getting there, David was on stage. He came back from the stage, he came down from the stage, and I just said, the Ubi just came to me and said, you are going on stage now. Before you know, MC don't announce, we have first Spyro. Bro, I couldn't even, and I had to call my friend and say, what kind of, and at that point I cannot decline and say, no, I'm not doing it again, because there were dignitaries there. There were a lot of people there. So my friend said, oh, you got to do it. So I went up, I dragged my leg to the stage, I performed, and right after, I said, okay, Ubi, Shibi, you don't try go make me. I don't perform now. Where my money? Where you say, David saying go give us. And I have
So that was Spyro recounting his experience with Ubi Franklin, how he asked him to perform at Nyanya's birthday, saying it was Davido who asked him to perform. And he'd already told him his price, 20 million for performing. But he was there already and then put on the spot and started performing, and he has not been giving that money. And this was what he said during a podcast Echo Room when he was asked that he had issues with Ubi Franklin, if he had issues with Ubi Franklin. Now, Ubi Franklin decides to do a response to that video. Take a listen.
This is 2025. Over the years, I've been properly misrepresented. I'll do a direct business with somebody. If it doesn't go right, the first thing is, they'll start calling me names. And I've thought about it. I'm like, over the years, I'll just keep quiet. I will not say anything. Everybody will say, oh, keep quiet, keep quiet. I will not say anything. But this year, I'm not going to do that. And I pray that I don't meet such people on the line of duty of what I want to do. I just saw a video trending where Spyro is talking about a deal that I didn't pay him. Now, let's start from here. On October, so one of these days, I was just with my brother David, and I told him, oh, listen, it's Iyan's birthday in a few days. And he said, oh, we're actually going to Ghana. I was like, yeah, that's true. You know, I said, okay, it's Iyan's birthday on that day. Okay, I'll send Iyan a jet to come and pick Iyan to come to Ghana. Good guy. I love David. Good guy. Boom, he did it. He didn't fail. On that day, I got a call from our guy, Tola. I said, bro, where the jet is ready, this is the time you should get to the airport, Fine. We hopped. So, before that day, Spyro had reached out to me saying that he wants to buy a car. And I said, okay, sure, I'm going to connect you, I called the car guy because that's what I do. If I connect you on a deal, I have to make my 10%. So he told me that, they should reduce the money that he will help them promote. I said, bro, they don't need that. They want their money. Do you understand? They don't need that. Do you understand? And I feel like you don't have what it takes to promote a car and get somebody to buy a car. Okay? So I told him that no. He said, I said, okay, listen, if I'm waiving 10% from this thing, they are going to take it from my money. 10% of 105 is 10.5 million. Every transaction that I do, I get my 10%. And even with music, if I give somebody a show, I get a 10%. If I give somebody a gig, if anything I do, I get my 10%. So, fast forward to him, I told him, okay, I gave him the guy's number. He went there. I told him, when you are done, my 10%, I kept quiet. But because I wanted him to have the car, I kept quiet for a bit. So, a day on the 30th of October, he went there, picked up the car. He didn't even tell me. So, a day after, the day on the 31st, in the morning, I just called him. I said, oh, bro, I'm going to Ghana. It's Iyan's birthday. David has sent us a jet. It's going to be a happy moment, blah, 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 blah. You know, I said, he's about to drop a song. Can he come? I was like, oh, sure, why not? Let's go. He said, okay, he's going to come with 2 people. So I called the guys who are operating the jet. I said, I want to add 2 names. I sent them the names, right? Immediately I sent them the names. They added them because the jet was just going to be Iyan and 2 others, 2 of our friends. So it now made us 6 on the jet. I think 6 or 7 on the jet. We flew to Ghana successfully. We got there. Everything was fine. I paid for the accommodation. A mutual senior friend of ours, I reported the thing to him. And I was waiting to see if Spyro would say, oh, Ubi, the 10% from the car deal, let's do plus and minus. If we do plus and minus now, he's meant to pay me money. I kept quiet. Because, I kept quiet. I will not allow anybody to use them trying to grow in their career to malign my name. I will not allow that.
All right, that was Ubi Franklin responding to the video and the podcast interview that Spyro had granted. Well, it just seems now everyone has their thoughts. You owe me, I owe you, so let's balance it up. We'll see how they progress with this exactly. But for some people, it's concerning because Ubi Franklin has consistently been on the news because of financial matters. Just in November, Very Dark Man was calling him out for 10 million naira debt. And quite a number of them. And so some people are beginning to get concerned about how he does his business exactly. But he says he's kept quiet for too long. He does business with people and he doesn't go exactly how they want it to. That's his side of the story. The business doesn't go exactly how they want it. Because in this case, he helped Spyro get a car and he was supposed to get 10% from the car and Spyro did not give him the money. Spyro says, you made me perform at Nyanya's birthday and you did not pay me my 20 million. So much conversations. We'll see how these wraps up and we'll get the details if they settle or not. Some of these things most times are swept on the carpet. Sometimes they settle silently and we don't know. But I will bring you the gist if there's ever a public settlement. Meanwhile, there's a video trending where veteran actress Ngozi Ezonu schools 2 upcoming actresses who attended an audition that she was in as the judge. Now, she was very angry at the way that they were dressed. She said it did not represent the fact that they came to audition and get roles to play. Take a listen to what she said.
See, any other day I'm on any audition table and I see a lady dressed like two of you. Look at them. And anybody comes in dressed like this, I'll disqualify that person. How can you come to an audition ground without a bra? With your cropped up top? It's wrong. That's why you're trying to impress. That's why the people see us as people who are not serious and a serious-minded actor. Do you get it? You can't catch me now dressed like this, even when I was your age. It's wrong. To carry breast, leave breast, you can't. Why?
All right, this video has elicited quite a number of reactions. Well, some people think that she's absolutely right. The fact that you're going for a movie audition does not mean that you should dress in a certain way. According to her, their breasts were all showing, no innerwears, because, well, that's why it was all showing and everywhere. And she says that's why people talk badly about us a lot of times. You should learn to dress the way that you want to be addressed. In her words, even when I was your age, I did not dress like this as an actor. She says, I'm a serious actor, and if you ever come wherever I'm a judge as in an audition, then you need to learn to dress properly. Quite a number of thoughts and comments. Some people said you need to dress how you want to be addressed, but some ladies think it's just a coat, and most of these ladies often lament how people treat them. 80% of the treatment you get from strangers depends on how you look. Let's be wiser. Someone says decency is the best, always dress decent. Another person says it's better that they hear it from her. She was a lot nicer than most people would be. She is right. That's a mother right there. Good, like, who are you trying to impress? Audition is just like a job interview. Dress decent. Well, as a conversation about dressing, and some people saying, well, people should be allowed to do whatever they want to do with their body, keeps coming on. That's Ngozi Izonu's perspective and her thought. You must learn to dress in a certain way. She says decently. That's all on entertainment today on Today 95.1 FM. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Queen Chima. Good morning.
The power of the airwaves with the ultimate radio experience. Tune in to Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Don't just listen, immerse yourself.
That is 100% true.
On this day in history, on this day in history, on this day in history.
Today in history, January 16. In 1920, prohibition began in the United States as the 18th Amendment went into effect, banning the manufacture, sale, and transportation of alcohol. In 1966, following the military coup in Nigeria, Major General Johnson Aguiyi Ironsi assumed power as head of state, becoming the country's first military leader. In 1970, Muammar Gaddafi was proclaimed the Prime Minister of Libya after leading a successful coup against King Idris in 1969.
In 1976, Argentina ousted a British envoy in dispute over the Falkland Islands.
In 1979, the Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, fled the country amidst growing unrest, leading to the Iranian Revolution and the establishment of an Islamic Republic.
In 1984, the Winter and the Summer Olympics saw record numbers of nations gather together to compete despite political tensions around the globe. In 1991, U.S. President George Bush announced the start of Operation Desert Storm, an allied combat operation to drive out Iraqi forces out of Kuwait. In 1997, comedian and TV star Bill Cosby's 27-year-old son, Ennis Cosby, was murdered after he stopped to fix a tire along California Interstate. In 2021, Trump becomes the first president to be impeached twice.
In 2005, Adriana Ilescu of Romania gave birth to a daughter at the age of 66, becoming one of the world's oldest mothers. In 2013, Algeria's In Amenas gas facility was attacked by Al-Qaeda-linked militants, resulting in a hostage crisis that left 39 foreign workers dead.
On this day in history, on this day in history, on this day in history.
Day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
This is Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News.
Good afternoon. This is the World News on your premium talk radio, Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt. I'm Queen Chima. The headlines. Nigerian police force takes over PDP secretariat in Rivers State. Upata Traditional Council in Ahoda East Local Government area urges parties in chieftaincy crisis to imbibe culture of unity. NNPCL boasts its highest taxpayer in Nigeria. On the foreign scene, U.S. sues Southwest over chronically delayed. Now the detail. A personnel of the Nigerian police force have taken over the secretariat of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) on Aba Road in Rivers State. Today, FM Uchendejo, who is at the state PDP secretariat, reports that a special court from a tactical unit of Rivers State Police Command used its patrol van to block a section of the road at major entrance of the party secretariat. He said the police personnel are not giving access to any individual into the secretariat, a situation which has also affected motorists who are now forced to use a single lane on the axis of the Aba Road, thereby causing traffic. The situation may not be unconnected to the emergence of the new ward, local government and state executive of the PDP, led by the acting chairman, Name Robinson. Following the sack of the Aaron Chukwuemeka-led state executive by High Court of Rivers State. A list of the state executive of PDP had emerged with Name Robinson as the acting chairman, where he addressed the party faithful warning that Aaron Chukwuemeka ceased to be the state chairman of the party, but may be chairman of the GDI after a court had sacked his executive. He insisted that Governor Similaye Fubara remains the leader of the PDP in the state following his position as the governor of the state, and urged members of the public to disregard any rumor addressing former Governor Nyesom Wike as the leader of the party in the state. Suspected cultists terrorizing Ahoda East local government area of River State have killed a member of the vigilante group in the area identified as Precious Namdi. Today, FM correspondent gathered that the suspected cultist bearing guns intercepted the victim along Hospital Road within Ahoda East area while he was on patrol. A community source who first confirmed the killing said while the suspect shot their victims severally without the bullet reportedly penetrating his body, the assailants later used sticks and iron objects on the deceased till he died before fleeing the scene. Our source said the development has created tension in Ahoda town, even as two dominant cult groups, the Iceland and Greenland in the LGA, have claimed responsibility for the killing of the man who hails from Ihuike community in Ulaupata Kingdom. When contacted, the public Relations Officer of River State Police Command SP Gracie Ringa Koko confirmed the incident, disclosing that the victim was confirmed dead by a doctor when he was rushed to a hospital. SP Ringa Koko said the Commissioner of Police, CPO Lubenga Depoju, has directed the area commander and tactical units to fish out and arrest the perpetrators. The Upata Traditional Council, Nahoda East Local Government area of River State, has urged parties involved in the chieftaincy crisis in Huowu community to imbibe the culture of unity, tolerance and peaceful coexistence. The King of Upata Kingdom, His Royal Majesty Felix Utuwaribo, who read the council's resolution, emphasized the need for unity and tolerance among different groups in order to consolidate on the gains made to develop the kingdom. He called on the people of Upata to refrain from all forms of discriminatory tendencies and unite in the struggle for a better kingdom. The Inyeudu Upata further urged the warring parties not to allow their differences overshadow their collective resolve for a better kingdom, noting that the period was the most sacred for them. He urged them to shun any act capable of impeding the growth, progress and development of Ihowo community, stressing that the UTC's resolve for peace does not recognize losers and winners. You may wish to know that part of the council's resolution was a mandate given to Chief Sunday Eke to facilitate the process of reconciling every interest. Well, members of Okada Riders Union in Isiopo, Ikore local government area of River State have staged a protest demanding for immediate conduct of election for effective running of the organization. They have also ordered immediate stoppage of indiscriminate selling and buying of tickets to avoid double taxation and confusion in the union. Speaking to Today FM on the development, some aggrieved members and stakeholders, including Alero, Nyebuchi, popularly known as Miro, God's Power, Anyanwu, also known as Nwa Pastor, Mohammed Adanta and Wachuku Steve said they were not happy that the union had been operating as a caretaker committee contrary to the provisions of the constitution.
Issue of selling tickets here and there, as I speak to you, has finally stopped. So since they've stopped the tickets, all we need is to select our LACO so that at the end of the whole thing, let there be election. Because we are not here for problem. All we need in this community is peace. And the bike people are for peace. And peace must reign.
Sometimes to buy ticket, then peace sell one a day. But when you go somewhere, then go catch you. Where some place and they say 3 or 4. So when we buy one for here or 2, when we go another place, so before we go come at our leader, they know they could just save the problem. So now the warriors as I will be stranger. So you know go just call it like that until where you find way to bail yourself before you go come at. Why you don't complete buy ticket for here, you don't pay money. The only way they go give you complete, they can't give you what it was headed. Another thing, we need peace with the government, make it help us to give us what we want.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, says it has remitted 10 trillion naira to the Federation account, making it the highest taxpayer in the country, and remains the only company in Nigeria that publishes 100% of its account statements annually. The Group Chief Executive Officer, GCEO, Mele Kyari, who made the disclosure during a presentation on NNPCL's 2024 revenue performance and 2025 projection to the National Assembly's Joint Committee on Finance, also called for a forensic audit of the funds and spent by NNPCL on fuel price stabilization and ensuring uninterrupted petrol supply between January and September 2024. Regarding the company's 2025 revenue projections, KRE indicated that a definitive figure would be provided after the upcoming Board of Directors meeting in 2 weeks. He assured the committee that the parameters for the 2025 budget were both realistic and achievable. In a related development, the National Assembly raised the 2025 projected revenue for the Nigerian Port Authority (NPA) to 1.75 trillion naira, underscoring the need for increased revenue generation across key government agencies. Well, you're listening to the World News on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. After the break, more news, foreign and sports stories. Stay tuned.
It's time to ignite! Get ready for 7 days of worship, fasting, prayers, healing, and miracles at the King's Assembly. Happening from January 13th to 19th, 2025. Hosted by Pastor Chris and Yemisi Ugo. This is your moment to experience God like never before. With worship-inspiring music from renowned ministers. Wisdom K. Nusa. And GUC.
247. Every day you come through.
Every session will leave you refreshed and transformed. Join us at the King's Assembly, 58 Tombia Road, GRA Phase 3, Port Harcourt, and number 1 Stadium Road by Air Force Junction. Weekdays at 5 p.m., Sunday at 7 a.m., 8:45 a.m., and 10:30 a.m. Don't miss this divine encounter. Visit thekingsassembly.org/ignite for more details. It's time to ignite your faith, your purpose, and your future. Ignite! January 13th to 19th. Be there.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, the rest of our stories. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, has filed a 5-count charge of unlawful diversion of public funds and money laundering against Jimmy Lawal, a former senior councillor and advisor to former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai. Lawal was charged alongside Umar Waziri, Yusuf Inuwa, and Solar Life Nigeria Limited for alleged financial misappropriation. The charge was filed by the Assistant Chief Legal Officer of the ICPC, Oshobini Abonimisea, at the Federal High Court in Kaduna. In the charge sheet, the ICPC alleged that Jimmy Lawal, sometime in 2018, indirectly took control of the sum of 10 million naira from the Kaduna State Accountant's General Operational Account and paid it into the bank account of Solar Life Nigeria Limited, an account for which he was the sole signatory. The Commission said Lawal ought to have known that the funds were part of proceeds of corruption, and by doing so, he allegedly committed an offence punishable under the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022. In another count, ICPC alleged that Lawal, in September 2018, while serving as a public officer in Kaduna State as a senior special advisor, councillor to Governor El-Rufai, took control of over 7 million naira from the Kaduna State Internal Revenue Service account. The presidency says the United Arab Emirates UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan will visit Nigeria in 2025. The presidential spokesman Bayo Onanuga, who made this known in a statement, said President Bola Tinubu invited the UAE leader during their bilateral talks on the sidelines of the Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week 2025. Tinubu arrived in Abu Dhabi on Sunday as a guest of the UAE president to participate in the forum, which encourages collective action to address global challenges such as climate change, water and energy crisis. Onanuga said the UAE leader thanked his Nigerian counterpart for accepting his invitation and expressed the UAE's determination to strengthen economic cooperation between Nigeria and his country. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has insisted that global collaboration is key to sustainable development. President Tinubu gave the assurance on the second day of the 2025 Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week on climate imperatives into economic prosperity, bridging Africa with a global energy future in the United Arab Emirates. Tinubu disclosed that Nigeria was ready to work with other nations to build a resilient, equitable and sustainable world for all. The president declared that no nation could walk the road to sustainability alone, stressing that global interconnectedness demands collective action, knowledge sharing and mutual support. He also noted that fight against climate change was not merely an environmental necessity, but a global economic opportunity to reshape the trajectory of the continent and the global energy landscape. Tinubu further reiterated his administration's commitment to reducing carbon emissions, just as he assured the Nigerian government had developed actionable programs in line with global expectations, bearing in mind Nigeria's economic and political expectations. And on the foreign scene, the U.S. Transportation Department is suing Southwest Airlines and has fined Frontier Airlines over what it described as chronically delayed flights, disrupting passengers' travel plans. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, in a statement, said the department was prepared to go to court in order to enforce passenger protections. According to court documents, the Joe Biden administration is accusing Southwest of knowingly operating flights that are consistently late but choosing not to make adjustments and continuing to market its flights using unrealistic schedules. As an example, transportation officials pointed to Southwest Flight 1029 from Chicago to Oakland, California, which was late by an average of more than an hour. 19 of the 25 trips flew in April 2022. The Transportation Department defines a flight chronically delayed if it is flown at least 10 times a month and arrives more than 30 minutes late more than 50% of the time. So on the foreign scene, where in sports, Mikel Arteta has warned Liverpool that sensational Arsenal is back in the Premier League title race after beating Tottenham 2-1 in the North London derby yesterday. Desperately needing a win to close the gap on leaders Liverpool, Arteta's side staged a stirring fight back after Son Heung-min's early opener for Tottenham. Dominic Solanke's own goal hauled Arsenal level before Leandro Trossad's strike put them ahead late in the first half at the raucous Emirates Stadium. Second place Arsenal's first win in 4 games in all competitions moved them within 4 points of Liverpool. It was a cathartic victory for Arsenal, who had been knocked out of the FA Cup third round by 10-man Manchester United on penalties on Sunday, days after losing 2-0 at home to Newcastle in the League Cup semi-final first leg. But Arteta, whose side will face another test against Aston Villa on Saturday, was relieved to see his players show the hunger they will need to overhaul Liverpool in the second half of the season. To end the news, here is a summary of the major stories. The Nigerian police force has taken over the PDP secretariat on Aba Road in Rivers State. The Upata Traditional Council in Ahoda East Local Government Area has urged parties involved in chieftaincy crises in the area to imbibe the culture of unity. We told you that the NNPCL has boasted of being the highest taxpayer in the country. On the foreign scene, you also heard that the U.S. has sued the Southwest over what he described as chronically delayed flights. That was the news as edited by Stella Sasongo Kori. For comments and inquiries, please call 0818-389-2850 or send your emails to news@todayfmlive.com. You can also read our stories on www.todayfmlive.com. My name is Queen Chima. Thank you so much for listening. Good afternoon.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on these websites: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, 0707-338-4828, SEC 0209-462-1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Okay, all right. All you need to know about this one is that
95.1 FM. Such a unique style.
Maybe home is somebody's smile when they look at you for the first time. Maybe home is being a home to something you love and adore with all your heart. And that is what life, friendship, and love are all about. Maybe home is listening to all of your favorite shows on Today 95.1 FM. We create memories. We inspire comfort. We are the voice of the people, and we are home away from home.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Please listen to this paid infomercial.
Head
Herbal Heritage International, the Kokoroko, for herbal medicine, where they produce strong, correct medicine, they take it, they support the country healthcare system. Country man, correct, holistic, ogbonge herbal medicine, they we know they come out for public anyhow, like a big basket. Food ground, as every Christmas have been boundary, seeking a self sabi medicine will pass them. After all, monkey smart now, because tree near tree is our forest. Heritage International will use the technology of computer testing machine to see and know before attacking that your health condition. We don't become Ubaruba for your life with the correct treatment. Therefore, whether definition or without definition, make you visit Herbal Heritage International. Offices way near you. Herbal Heritage International. Now
Hello and welcome to the program Roots and Herbs. Roots and Herbs is a program that discusses health-related challenges and suggests possible ways out from the herbal medicine perspective. Roots and Herbs is put together and sponsored by Herbal Heritage International, also known as Baba Yoruba. Baba Yoruba is currently having a special promo package. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. This offer runs while the stock lasts at number 24 Ikwere Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. Number 24 Ikwere Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. And at the same time, it will give you the privilege of meeting Baba Yoruba himself at the venue. For details and inquiries, the telephone number to call is 080 33 111 946. I repeat, 080 33 111 946. 080 33 111 946. On today's edition of the program, our topic for discussion is staphylococcal infection. And I have with me in the studio Dr. Otumba Abiodun. Sir, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Staphylococcal infections do occur in the body system when Staphylococcus bacteria enters into the body system and spread within the body system, destroying body cells. Staphylococcus bacteria are majorly of three types that can afflict men. But of these three, the most pathogenic in nature, that is the one that is capable of causing diseases easily in men, is the Staphylococcus aureus, because it is capable of invading body cells, destroying them, causing different pathological changes in the body. When Staphylococcus bacteria spread in the body system, there are a number of changes that one can experience. This can result to burning sensation within the individual, and this can be seen as fever from time to time, or a situation where there is certain hotness coming from within. There can be skin manifestations in staphylococcal infection that can be given one periodic boils or rashes all over the body. In some people, such rashes can come around the pubic region, or even leading to boils that can lead to blisters or even ulcers on the skin. It is possible for one to experience persistent headache in staphylococcal infection because the body fluid is already contaminated. Staphylococcus, as we know, is a form of bacteria or spreading in the body system, can lead to reactions in the body that can further damage body tissues. And when this occurs, it is possible for one to experience joint pains in form of infective arthritis. Part of this bacteria can spread deep into the tissues of the heart, affecting the valves of the heart. And when this occurs, you discover that there can be palpitation that some will start witnessing as if they have panic attack. When this is allowed to continue in the body system, it is possible for one to start getting tired easily. There are many people, by walking from one pole to another, they get tired, or by doing just something that is not supposed to be that tasking in terms of energy consumption, they discover that it's as if they don't have enough hair where they are located. All this can be as a result of weakness of the heart resulting from infection or spread of this bacteria we're talking about. When this bacteria is able to pollute the body fluid, it is possible for one to witness mouth odor. Mouth odor is a form of changes that is called halitosis, where people will start coming up with breath coming from within that is already polluted. There is no amount of time such people wash their mouth, you discover that the breath coming out is very offensive. All this can be as a result of pollution of the body system. It is possible if any bacteria is able to dwell so long in the body system to contaminate the whole body fluid and even damage nerves. When nerves are damaged, there can be tiredness. Not only this, it is possible for men to suffer a lot because this can degenerate to a situation where a man is unable to stand like a real man. When a man is unable to stand like a real man, it is seen as a serious challenge because the whole family can be affected. Part of the joy of the relationship can be stolen, and this can cause different rancors in the family. A man that is unable to stand as he should can find it difficult to get arousal. The desire for opposite sex can disappear, and once that arousal is not there, that is the ignition point. It means such a man will not be able to stand like a real man. In some people, the arousal can be there, but you discover that because nerves have been damaged, the transmission from the upper center down to the power point of man, that is in between his two thighs, can be weakened. When such occurs, you discover that such a man can even get arousal or is able to stand, but the type of standing that he has is not strong enough to help him to even get into the act. In some people, they make efforts to get into the act, but you discover that they are unable to spend more than a minute or more before they are exhausted. Mind you, before a man can be called a real man, such a man must be able to have the arousal as desired and also be able to sustain the energy he has been able to gather for a considerable length of time. That is when such a man can be able to make his partner happy when it comes to man-to-woman interaction. So such men do suffer from this from time to time. It's after knowing the root cause of the challenge that one will be able to know the right step to take for one to be totally free. Whenever you experience anything that we have been able to mention or other things, it's very important for one to visit a competent healthcare giver who will be able to run tests on one and pinpoint where the problem lies and provide solution. For more enlightenment and advice, the number to call is 080-33-111-946. I repeat, 080-33-111-946. Thank you all.
All right, you've been listening to the program Roots and Herbs. Roots and Herbs is a program that discusses health-related challenges and suggests possible ways out from the herbal medicine perspective. Roots and Herbs is put together and sponsored by Herbal Heritage International, also known as Baba Yoruba. Baba Yoruba is currently having a special promo package. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. This offer runs while the stock lasts at number 24 Ikwere Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. Number 24 Ikwere Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. And at the same time, it will give you the privilege of meeting Baba Yoruba himself at the venue. For details, the telephone number to call is 080 33 111 946. I repeat, 080 33 111 946. 080 33 111 946. I repeat, 080 33 111 946. Let's take our sponsor's message. Don't go away. We shall be right back.
Herbal Heritage International, the Kokoroko, for herbal medicine, when they produce strong, correct medicine, they take the support with country healthcare system. Quatliman, correct bakelistic ogbonge herbal medicine, they know they come out for public anyhow like a big basket. Full ground as every Christmas have been boundary. Sickness self sabi medicine will pass them. After all, monkey smart now because tree near tree is a forest. Heritage International will use the technology of computer testing machine to see and know before attacking that your health condition. We don't become umbarumba for your life with the correct treatment. Therefore, whether definition or without definition, make you visit Herbal Heritage International. Offices will near you. Herbal Heritage International. Now
You're welcome back to Roots and Herbs. Roots and Herbs is a program that discusses health-related challenges and suggests possible ways out from the herbal medicine perspective. Roots and Herbs is put together and sponsored by Herbal Heritage International, also known as Baba Yoruba. Baba Yoruba is currently having a special promo package. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. This offer runs while the stock lasts at number 24 Ikwere Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. Number 24 Ikwere Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. And at the same time, it will give you the privilege of meeting Baba Yoruba himself at the venue. For details and inquiries, the telephone number to call is 080 33 111 946. I repeat, 080 33 111 946. 080 33 111 946. Until we come your way again, remain blessed.
And that was a paid infomercial.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Progress in ceasefire negotiations.
Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar on Monday said negotiations toward a possible release of hostages in exchange for a ceasefire in Gaza had progressed.
One of the great American cities is still on fire.
I've never seen, a force of nature like this, the winds and the dryness.
And an update from the front lines in Sudan.
In the streets of Wad Madani, civilians and soldiers celebrated what could be a turning point in Sudan's devastating civil war. The strategically important city, capital of El Jazeera State, was recaptured from the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces by the Sudanese army over the weekend.
Today is Tuesday, January 14th, and this is VOA's International Edition. Hello, I'm Steve Karish in Washington. Potentially a big day for the Middle East as significant progress is being made on the ongoing ceasefire negotiations between Israel and Hamas. Mediators gave Israel and Hamas a final draft of a deal on Monday to end the war in Gaza. This after a midnight breakthrough in talks attended by envoys of both President Joe Biden and President-elect Donald Trump. Reuters' Zachary Goldman has our story.
We also discussed a possible hostage deal.
Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar on Monday said negotiations toward a possible release of hostages in exchange for a ceasefire in Gaza had progressed. That comes as an official briefed on the negotiations described to Reuters a midnight breakthrough in talks between the sides in Doha. The official said the text for a ceasefire and release of hostages was presented by Qatar. The session included envoys of both outgoing U.S. President Joe Biden and U.S. President-elect Donald Trump. Others present included representatives of Israel's Shin Bet and Mossad intelligence agencies. Officials on both sides stopped short of saying a final draft had been reached, but confirmed progress at the talks.
Israel wants a hostage deal. Israel is working with our American friends in order to achieve a hostage deal, and soon we will know whether the other side wants the same thing.
A Hamas official who asked not to be named told Reuters on Monday that discussions over some core issues for a ceasefire deal in Gaza had advanced. The United States, Qatar, and Egypt have worked for more than a year on talks to end the war in Gaza, so far fruitlessly. Trump's January 20th inauguration is now widely seen in the region as a de facto deadline. The president-elect has said there would be, quote, hell to pay unless hostages held by Hamas are freed before he takes office, while Biden has also pushed hard for a deal before he leaves. The warring sides have agreed for months broadly on the principle of halting the fighting in return for the release of hostages held by Hamas and Palestinian detainees held by Israel. But Hamas has always insisted a deal must lead to a permanent end to the war and Israeli withdrawal from Gaza, while Israel has said it will not end the war until Hamas is dismantled. Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich, a hardline nationalist who has opposed previous attempts to reach a deal, denounced the latest proposals as a, quote, surrender and a, quote, catastrophe. Angry family members of Israeli hostages confronted him at a Knesset session on Monday, accusing him of abandoning their loved ones.
That's Zachary Goldman of Reuters reporting for us. And joining me on the phone to go over the potential deal is Joe Truzman. He's a senior research analyst at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies.
What we know right now, at least according to reports from Jerusalem, that this hostage deal or ceasefire deal will come in two phases. There's a first phase where a certain amount of hostages will be released. And then the second phase will come into effect where the rest of the hostages are released. Nevertheless, but this deal I think is much more broader and may lead to a permanent cessation of hostility.